athletes being called to the marks now. The forecast is for no rain today, so fingers crossed, but sun is definitely out, but it is certainly windy down that back straight. So for the first half of the race, the guys are really going to have to watch the stride as they attack into the wind. So they're out away very cleanly. It's hard to tell over the first flight of hurdles, all looking very even. If anything, Jacob Paul has got a slight lead, but on his outside, Kylie, he seems to be setting off well at the moment. And also on Paul's inside, Dyer, he seems to be moving quite well. As they head down to that back straight, it's definitely Paul Jacob, but also he's bringing Dyer alongside him. So definitely Dyer and Jacob as they head onto that top bend. As I talked about yesterday, Jacob Paul has got that long overreaching arms, which helps propel him forward, but he's certainly bringing Dyer with him. Dyer, the Scottish athlete, is having a great run here. Jacob Paul looking to defend his title, just one more flight of hurdles. Dyer still in second, but he's going to come under a challenge from Webster. But Jacob Paul is going to successfully defend his title and book his seat on the plane to Rieti. Dyer in second place. He may get close to that standard. And I think it was Webster of Warrington who came through for third. Just looking at the clock there, stopping unofficially at 52 seconds flat. So Jacob Paul successfully defends his title. The reaction from Dyer suggests he may be very close to that European Junior standard as well. And it was Webster of Warrington who came through for the bronze medal.
Playing a game and we all got the losing hand. I think I'm done falling for the tricks I cannot stand. Done looking at the wrist, they don't lend a hand.
Okay, so the first 400 metre hurdles race was a fantastic victory for Jacob Paul there. Now it's the turn of the under-23 men, and again a very stellar lineup. I'll run you through the order. From the very inside, it's former junior champion Paul Bennett of Cardiff AC. Lane 2, Isaac Ugeland of Havering Maesbrook. Lane 3, Sebastian Roger, who was one of 3 athletes who's in possession of that European under-23 standard. James Foreman of Southampton AC. I was corrected on Twitter for calling him Team Southampton, but it's Southampton AC. He's in lane 4. Niall Flannery of lane 5. New Essex Beagles, he has the qualifying standard. Jack Houghton of Doncaster in 6. David Dempsey in lane 7 from Gateshead, and in lane 8, London 2012 Olympian Jack Green. After placing 3rd in his heat yesterday, he's drawn on the very outside for Kent AC. And of course, Green is the reigning European under-23 champion. So they're away. We always know Niall Flannery, New Essex Beagles, Loughborough student, he likes to take it out hard, and it's no surprise to see him immediately overtake Houghton in lane 6. So it's certainly Flannery chasing down Green. He's got Green in his sights. Remember, the first place across the line secures selection for the European under-23s, providing you have the standard. And it's Flannery in that purple vest who's passed everyone in the field now, including London Olympian Jack Green. So Niall Flannery is really going for it. But Seb Roger of Shaftesbury Barnet, he's going with him as well. Roger yet to break 50 seconds, but he's having a fantastic run. So currently it's Flannery from Roger. Green in the very outside, the defending European champion. He's having to go put the burners on over this last 100 metres. But Roger's coming on, Flannery's inside. Flannery clatters the last hurdle. Roger's going to come through to take the title, and maybe Green for bronze. Roger takes the title, gets the European standards. A new lifetime best for Roger, the first time under 50 seconds, unofficially 49.87. It was Niall Flannery clattered that last hurdle. He takes second, and I think Jack Green just hand on for third from the fast finishing Houghton. fantastic race, and Seb Roger has booked his place on the plane for the European Under-23 Championships. Okay, so the final 400-metre hurdles race, it's the turn of the under-23 women. The lineup is as follows. In lane 1, Jessica McCabe of Windsor, Slough and Hounslow. Lane 2, Emma Komocki of Notts AC. Lane 3, Gabriella Convey of Ealing, Southall and Middlesex. Lane 4, the defending champion Megan Southwort of Blackheath and Bromley. Lane 5, Abigail Fitzpatrick of Sale Harriers. Lane 6, Christine McMahon of Ballyaintrim. Lane 7, Aisha Nabe-Way of Herne Hill. And Lauren Bouchard of Chelmsford is a DNS for this final, who is unfortunately injured. So certainly quite a wide open race here. As we talked about, Lauren Bouchard, current UK under-23 #1. She doesn't start, unfortunately, due to injury. Certainly Abigail Fitzpatrick looked very impressive in the heats. Defending champion Megan Southwort, you'd expect her to put up a stern defence of her title. But if anything, as you head down this back straight, it's that distinctive green vest of the Sale Harriers Manchester. Abigail Fitzpatrick, she seems to have the lead. But on her very outside, McMahon seems to be going very well as well. So it's those two certainly pulling away. Certainly the junior champion from last year, McNabe-Way, is certainly in contention, whereas they come inside the last 150 metres. So with just 3 flights of hurdles to take, it's McMahon on her outside who currently leads. McMahon, the Ballyaintrim athlete, she's being chased hard now by Fitzpatrick, but also Convery on the very inside. She's mounting a charge, but Fitzpatrick's really coming through now. She's certainly looking the stronger. One more barrier to negotiate, and she's coming through. She's going to come through to take this title for Sale Harriers Manchester Club. It's going to be Convery who's in second, and McMahon, the early leader, takes the bronze medal. Stops the clock unofficially at 58.89. So Abigail Fitzpatrick is your 2013 National Under-23 champion. Sorry. So we're just going to join the high jump in the closing stage. I think it is just Morgan Lake who remains. That's unconfirmed, but she's taking her final attempt at 1.85 m. Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow athlete, renowned heptathlete, but contesting the high jump here and doing very well. I understand she wants to go to the heptathlon to the World Youth Championships, so honing her preparation here in Bedford over the high jump. Attacks the bar, and she's over! Great clearance by Morgan Lake, 1.85. That takes her, just getting that off the stadium announcer, she moves up now to number 2 on the British all-time list with a clearance of 1.85 m. Very impressive, Morgan Lake. And she is looking in very good shape as she heads into those World Youth Championships. Okay, so the attention now turns to the 200-metre heats. First up is going to be the under-20 men. We've had 3 revisions to the start list, so now there's going to be 3 heats, and it's the first 2 and the 2 fastest losers who will progress through to the final, which is currently scheduled for 2:10. In lane 1, we have Lamiko Thomas of Sale Harriers Manchester, an under-17. Lane 2, Akanula of Herne Hill Harriers, another under-17. 3 is Joel Harvey of Eastbourne Rovers. Lane 4, the 100-metre champion Josh Cox of Bedford County. Lane 5, Chris Stone of Bristol and West. Lane 6, defending champion Josh Street of South London Harriers. Lane 7, Frederick Arafria of Herne Hill Harriers. And in lane 8, Miles Richardson of Basingstoke and Midhants. They're away cleanly. So as we talked about, defending champion Josh Street, but immediately I can see on his inside Harvey's got a bit of an issue there, but Josh Cox, the 100-metre champion from yesterday, he's going to be bowed by that. Stone's in there at the moment, but it's all about Josh Cox. But Josh Street's coming through maybe for their second automatic spot. So Cox is going to take the victory. Street's going to also qualify. And I think in third place, that was Stone, who's potentially going to be the first of those fastest losers looking out. But an unconfirmed time of 21.59 there for Josh Cox, booking his passage through to the final. And it was defending champion Josh Street, who also has secured a place in today's final later on. The rest of those guys are all going to have to wait for just 2 fastest loser spots available. Okay, so now we move on to Heat 2 of these under-20 men's 200 metres. And the lineup is as follows. From the inside, we have Bakamunze Dube of Sale Harriers Manchester. Lane 2, Elliot Powell of Leicester Corinthanians AC. Lane 3, the silver medalist in the 100 metres yesterday, Roy Ejijaku of Sale Harriers Manchester. Lane 4 is Daniel Truman from Stroud AC. Lane 5 is Leon Reid, who currently tops the British rankings on entries for the under-20 age group, and he has that important European Junior qualifying standard of 21.25. Lane 6, Nathan Selby of Sale Harriers Manchesters. Lane 7, Ben Argent of Colchester Harriers. And in Lane 8, Oliver Lithgow of Wigan and District Harriers AC. So it's the first two guaranteeing their spots through to the final later on today. So the athletes being called under the starters' orders now. So the winning time in Heat 1, unconfirmed, for Josh Cox was 21.59. So fastest losers, they're looking potentially, you've got to go sub 22 at least in order to be in the contention for a fastest loser spot. But the lineup, we had Dubé, Powell, Ejijaku, Truman, Reid, Selby, Argent and Lithgow. So they're just being called back up from the marks there. I'm not sure what's going on. The officials raising a green card, so no one's under threat of disqualification. Athletes resume back to their start position. So as we pointed out, it is Leon Reid who will want to get his place in that final, because he knows if he crosses the line first, he'll be guaranteed a spot on the European Junior team. Bristol and West athlete. But Ejijaku, who is in fantastic form over the 100 metres, expect him to run close, because I think potentially the 200 metres is Ejijaku's more favoured event. They're away cleanly, and as expected, Leon Reid has got off to a fantastic start, and he's really attacked that bend. He's immediately taken the two on his outside, so it's Leon Reid who's going to lead as they come into the straight, and I think potentially two Sale Harriers, Ejijaku and Selby, are currently in second, but Leon Reid, the Bristol and West athlete, he's going to come through to take victory. Ejijaku's going to take the second automatic qualifying slot. Easing down there, Leon Reid, very impressive, shut it down to clock 21.55, unconfirmed, so he's going to move through to the final, and it is Roy Ejijaku, the silver medalist in the 100 metres yesterday. He's now guaranteed a place in the final as well. So we've got 4 of the 8 finalists already confirmed, one more heat to go. So the third and final heat for the under-20 men's 200 metres. The lineup from the very inside, we have Delano Brown of Birchfield Harriers. Lane 2, James Higgins of Glasgow School of Sport. Lane 3 is Rhys Prescott of Enfield and Harringay, and he also, like Leon Reid in Heat 2, he has the European Junior qualifying time. 4, Matthew Hudson-Smith of Birchfield Harriers. Lane 5, Detrick Nelson of Bingley Harriers. Lane 6, Tom Houlihan of Edinburgh AC, who was a 100 metre finalist yesterday. Lane 7, Lewis De Silva of St Albans AC. And lane 8 is Marvin Pupala, a semi-finalist in the 100 metres yesterday, and he's in the colours of Herne Hill Harriers. So the automatic qualifiers that we have so far is Cox, Street, Reid and Ejijaku. 2 more will definitely confirm their spot in this heat, the first 2 across the line, and then it's just 2 more fastest losers who will progress to a final. Repeat, there's no semi-finals for the under-20 200 metres. Certainly Rhys Prescott has been in fantastic form. Big improvement to help bring himself into contention for these European Juniors. Enfield and Harringay got a rich tradition of sprinters, and this is the latest off the production line. So again, like Leon Reid, he knows if he can get a good lane for this final, he's got a fantastic chance of securing his place on the British athletics team for the European Junior Championships. So just to repeat, it's Brown, Higgins, Prescott, Hudson-Smith, Nelson, Houlihan, De Silva and Pupala. It's good to see Matthew Hudson-Smith back in action. He was potentially the favourite for the indoor title over 200 metres, but unfortunately pulled up injured in that final. But we're now in the outdoor season and he appears to be fit and healthy, so he'll expect him to figure. As we talked about, Prescott on paper is the fastest in this field. They're away cleanly. Pretty much an even start. Hudson Smith, if anything, but he knows he's got Prescott on his inside, and Prescott is also up on Hudson Smith. And as he come into the bend then straight though, so it looks like Nelson and Houlihan in contention. But now it's Prescott and Hudson Smith who are going to battle it out for the 1-2. Prescott's going to hold on and take victory just from Hudson Smith on the line. The quickest of all the semi-finals there. So unconfirmed 21.40 for Reese Prescott to book his place in the final. He was closely followed by Matt Hudson Smith, and potentially may see the fastest losers come through from that one. Nelson and Houlihan, they certainly were running very strongly coming through to the end. But the confirmed qualifiers are Prescott and Matthew Hudson Smith from Birchfield Harriers. The other 2 spots will be filled by the fastest losers from those 3 heats. Okay, so the next event on the track is going to be the under-23 men's 200-metre heats. We spoke yesterday about the competitive nature of the under-20 men's 1500 with 8 athletes in possession of the standard. The under-23 men's 200 metres is another one where we're blessed with a huge amount of talent. Current on the rankings, people who have achieved the European under-23 standard of 20.80 is Jordan Kirby-Polidor, Deji Tobias, David Bolarinwa and Danny Talbot. The first 3 I mentioned there are all present. Danny Talbot is not here. There is 4 heats. In order to progress through to the semi-finals, it's the first 3 in each heat and the 4 fastest losers to the semi-finals, which are scheduled for 2:25. And in heat 1, from the inside, in lane 1 we have Kyle Ennis of Banbury Harriers. Lane 2, Nicholas Price of Royal Sutton Coldfield. Lane 4, Alex Bell of Cambridge Harriers. Lane 4, Owen Styler of Exeter Harriers. Lane 5, Gareth Hopkins of Cardiff AC. Lane 6, 100-metre finalist from yesterday, Danish Walker Khan from Birchfield Harriers. Lane 7, former junior champion over the 100 metres and contested the Diamond League just on Thursday evening, David Bolarinwa, where he ran a fantastic race from the very inside lane. He's representing Newham and Essex Beagles AC in lane 7, and on the very outside we have James Williams of Liverpool Harriers AC, who also made the 100-metre final yesterday. So just to repeat, it's the first 3 and the 4 fastest losers from the 3 heats that will progress through to the semi-finals. Under starters orders. The lineup just again: Ennis, Price, Bell, Styler, Hopkins, Walker Khan, Bolarinwa and Williams. Certainly, as we talked about, David Bolarinwa has been in fantastic form. Lifetime best of 20.60 this season. They're away cleanly, and certainly David Bolarinwa in that Newham and Essex Beagles gold vest, he's already up on Williams on his outside, and he's bringing Danish Walker Khan with him, so certainly those 2 are going to lead as they head into the home straight. So Bolarinwa from Walker Khan, it's very close for second, but it's third automatic between Ennis and Price. Looks like Bolarinwa from Walker Khan and Ennis on the very inside. He takes the third automatic qualifying spot. Stops the clock unofficially at 21.33, so looking very routine there for David Bolarinwa. He guarantees a slot through in the semi-finals. Danish Walker Khan in second, and it was Kyle Ennis of Banbury Harriers who got that third automatic qualifying spot from the very tight inside lane 1.
But could you leave a little love? Why you wanna take way more than half of what we made? Would you please leave some? I wonder what you'll do when the heat starts coming down on you. You took me for granted like I'd always be around. Would you live free on me? tomorrow would never come, but it's a here today. I wonder what you'll do when the heat starts coming down on you. I wonder how you'll be when you feel those bittersweet memories.
So now we move on to Heat 2 of these under 23 men's 200 metre heats. The lineup in lane 1, we have Ben Morris of Leicester Coritanians AC. Lane 2, AJ Borse of Herne Hill Harriers. Lane 3, Richard Taylor of Great Yarmouth and District AC. Lane 4, silver medalist in the 100 metres yesterday, Samuel Ossower of Croydon Harriers. Lane 5 is Jordan Kirby Polidor of Woodford Green and Essex Ladies, and as pointed out, he is in possession of that, or the European Under-23 qualifying standard. Lane 6, Theo Campbell of Bristol and West. Lane 7 is John Coyle of Ireland, and in Lane 8, Lumar Sylvester of Thames Valley Harriers. So certainly Ossower was in fine form there, coming second behind the very impressive Adam Gamili yesterday in that 100 metre final. Slight wins, but certainly a very positive performance from Ossower, and he's looking to see if he can mix it with the 200 metre guys today. But Kirby Polidor it is who has the qualifying time, so look out for him in the Woodford Green and Essex Ladies green and white kit. So the athletes being called to their marks. We have Morris, Boyce, Taylor, Ossower, Kirby Polidor, Campbell, Coyle and Sylvester. The first 3 automatically progress through to the semi-finals. They're away cleanly. And certainly Campbell in lane 6, he got a very good start. He's pulling away from Polidor. If anything, as he come around the bend, he's up on Coyle on his outside. So it's the tall, in excess of definitely of 6 foot of Campbell. He's currently leading. But on the very outside, and Sylvester's running very well. But now Polidor's coming through. Polidor and Ossower coming through. Polidor's going to take it from Ossower, and I think Sylvester on the very outside takes the 3rd automatic qualifying spot. So a very late charge by Polidor, but I say he perfectly paced it there, timed his effort to perfection. He brought Ossower through with him, and Sylvester is the 3rd automatic qualifier through to those semi-finals. So the 3rd heat in the under 23 men's 200 metres. The lineup is in follows. In lane 2 we have Sam Watts, who was silver medalist last year from Woodford Green and Essex Ladies. Lane 3, the 100 metre champion from yesterday and put on a fantastic show for the crowd, Adam Gamili, Blackheath Harriers and Bromley. Lane 4, Andre Wright of Medway and Maidstone AC. Lane 5, Aaron Crowley of Sale Harriers Manchester. Lane 6, Ben Stevenson of Middlesbrough AC. Lane 7, Chanel Burns of Montserrat. And Lane 8, Duralyn Holding of Knee Valley Harriers. So as we pointed out, Adam Gamili, wind assisted 10.08 yesterday. Had a slow start to his season, didn't compete in May due to a slight injury that interrupted his start to the season, but he's clearly back and he's in fantastic shape. Certainly more than capable of achieving the European Under-23 standard of 20.6, should he choose to contest it at those championships. Obviously he's more renowned as a 100 metre specialist, but it's good to see he's got a good opposition, particularly in this heat, and definitely as we progress, look forward to the semi-final and final with Kirby Polidor, and Bolawinra as opposition. But we'll certainly see how he gets on in this heat. It's the first 3 across the line, and then the remaining athletes are chasing 4 fastest loser spots to progress through to the semi-finals. So just to remind you, it's Watts, Gamili, Wright, Crowley, Stevenson, Burns and Holding. not to put a jinx on it, but all clean starts so far in all the sprint of the races, so no disqualifications as of yet. Let's hope for all these athletes in heats 3 they get away and are able to execute the races. And thankfully, yes, they are away cleanly. Stevenson in lane 6, he got a good start. But Andre Wright, he's all immediately up on Crowley on his outside. And he's bringing Adam Gamili with him. But I think it's going to be Andre Wright who leads as he come into the straight. But Gamili's already up on his shoulder. Gamili's going to run away with this one. He's clearly moving away. Sam Watts is coming through for second. And I think Andre Wright's going to take the third automatic qualifying spot. Stops the clock unofficially, 21.24. So Adam Gamili, Blackheath, Harries and Bromley, he progresses through to the semi-finals, where he'll be joined by Sam Watts and Andre Wright as confirmed, and then there's 4 fastest loser spots still available. Thank you. So the 4th and final heat of these under 23 men's 200 metres. In lane 2 we have Manning from Thames Valley Harriers. Lane 3 Malcolm Gledhill of Southampton AC. Lane 4 Anthony Infantano, but I think I've just seen him in front of me, so I'm thinking he may potentially be a DNS. Lane 5, Olum Abdun of Woodford Green and Essex Ladies. Lane 6, Lamar Freckleton of Cardiff AC. Lane 7, Jake James of Derby AC. And in lane 8, Deji Tobias of Windsor Slough Eaton and Hounslow. And Deji, he is also in possession of that European under-23 standard. So, Manning, Gledhill, Infantano, Abidun, Freckleton, James and Tobias. First 3 to the semi-finals. They're away cleanly, and Deji Tobias got a fantastic start there. He's opened up a huge amount over James in lane 7, and it's the sky blue of the Windsor Slough Eaton who's certainly going to lead as they head into the home straight. So Deji Tobias, it looks like he's immediately looking over his shoulder. Anthony Infantano is coming through for second. The battle is on for that 3rd and final automatic qualifying spot. Looks like it's going to be Abidun of Woodford Green and Essex Ladies, but very close for James. I think James maybe came through there. Clock stops unofficially, 21.27 for Deji Tobias to take victory. Anthony Infantano got the 2nd automatic spot, and I think it was Jake James of Derby AC who came through for that 3rd automatic qualifying spot. So we now move to the first endurance event of the 2nd day here at the European Trials, and it's the under 20 women's 1500 metres, which is a straight final, 11 contestants, so no need for heats. The line-up is as follows. We have Katrina Grants of Ealing, Southall and Middlesex, Sophie Ritchies of Chelmsford AC, Olivia Sadler of Bristol and West AC, Marina Sadler of Bristol and West AC, Fifton Price of Cardiff AC, Amy Pratt of Sale Harriers Manchesters, Rebecca Howard of Aldershot Farming District, Bobby Clay of Invicta East and East Kent AC, Elizabeth Bird, Shaftesbury Barnet, Ellie Baker of Hearts Phoenix and Chloe Price of Durham City Harriers. So fastest on paper in the field is under 17 Bobby Clay, who I think she's potentially targeting the World Youth Championships, either over 1500 metres or 3000. She's achieved the 3000 metre qualifying mark at the Sports City BMC just a few weeks back. But she's here doing the 1500 metres, looking to prove form and prove fitness, hopefully ahead of those World Youth Championship selections. But 11 athletes, and as they come down into the home straight, I'll look to identify some of the leading contenders. I can certainly see it is the young Bobby Clay. She's currently occupying 2nd position, but on the very inside I think it's Olivia Sadler of the Bristol West AC athlete. But 303, very on the very outside in that distinctive orange vest, is Chloe Price of Durham City. So it's those 3 who are sat, currently all occupying lane 1. So 3 abreast in lane 1 as they lead them through this opening 400 metres. So 3 3/4 laps it is. and they go through 400 metres roughly in around about 71 seconds. So a good respectable pace here. Most of the field, a good lead group if any, is beginning to break away of around about 8 athletes, and it's certainly Bobby Clay, the Invicta athlete, who's leading the way. Small figure in the red vest with the knee-high compression socks. Excellent season over the cross-country, and she's continuing that form on the track. And as we say, as an under-17 athlete, she's potentially looking at those World Youth Championships as the major one that she'll be targeting this year. But I'm pretty sure she'd love nothing better than to take the under-20 women's 1500 metre title today to help increase what must be ever-growing confidence as she continues to develop as one of our rising endurance stars. In 3:47 now, I can see has moved into second place. So that's 3:87, which is Katrina Grant of Ealing, Southall and Middlesex. And it's Price in bronze, the Durham AC athlete. But 3:04 is Fifton Price in the cap of Cardiff AC. She's moving into medal contention. But at the moment, it's Clay and Grant who are beginning to pull away from the rest. So Clay looks to have continued this pace around about 2:21 at 800 metres, so another 70 to 71 second lap. But Clay's beginning to stretch them, but she's certainly got Grant of Ealing, Southall and Middlesex for company, and the title looks to be going to be decided between these two, as around about 900 metres have been run. The battle is on for bronze, and that group currently occupied around about 5 athletes, currently being led by the Welsh athlete Price, and she seems to be pulling away as the lead two are going to come through around about 1,000 metres. So just 500 metres to run, and at the moment it's Bobby Clay, the under-17 athlete from Invicta East Victoria, who's currently leading from Katrina Grant. Grant is paying close attention, so she's certainly still in with a shot of this title as Clay begins to pile on the pressure, hits the bell in 3:12.49, so we could potentially look for a finishing time of around about low 420s, if not under, if they begin to accelerate over this last lap. But Katrina Grant is closing on Clay, so quite a contrast. The very short and diminutive Clay and the very legly Grant, who's occupying, ticking closely to her. But as we head down the back straight, Clay's working hard. She's trying to break Grant's, but Grant is still sticking with her. She doesn't let that lead grow to more than 2 to 3 metres. And it's Price who's back in third. She's currently detached. She's going to be chased by, I can see, a Shaftesbury Barnet athlete that's also in there. So that's Elizabeth Bird. She's potentially going to move up into fourth. But as we've got 150 metres to go, it's Bobby Clay who's led from pretty much after the first opening lap. She's begun to slowly but surely wind the screw, and she's piling it on, and she looks as though the under-17 athlete is going to take this national under-20 title. But Grant is still working hard, the Ealing, Southall and Middlesex athlete. But Clay, there's not going to be stopping any Bobby Clay today. She's going to come home 16 years of age, but she's going to take the national under-20 title. Stops the clock at 4:20.54. Grant comes through for second, and it's Olivia Sadler who's had a fantastic finish to come through for that bronze medal. So we now move to one of the most eagerly anticipated races of the weekend. We were talking yesterday in the 20 men's 1500 metre heats that 8 athletes were in contention for the European Juniors, having already achieved the qualifying standard. 5 of those athletes were here in Bedford this weekend, and all 5 have successfully made it through to the final. So there's 5 athletes now who know if they finished first past the post, they guarantee themselves selection for the European Junior Championships over the 1500 metres. Those qualifiers include James McMurray of St Albans AC, Jake Whiteman of Edinburgh AC, Lewis Lloyd of Herne Hill Harriers, Will Paulson of Stroud AC, Sean Wiley of Bracknell AC, Matthew McLaughlin of Woodward Green Essex and Ladies, Michael Ward of Cardiff AC, Liam D of Shaftesbury Barnet, Kyron Roberts of Carmarthen, Matthew Sherlin of Liverpool, Charlie Jocelyn Allen of Tonbridge, and Luke Johnson of Warrington AC. So those in possession of the standard are McMurray, Whiteman, Lloyd, Wiley and McLaughlin, and we'll look out for those. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. It's a very competitive event. On paper, Matt McLaughlin leads the rankings with his indoor British record of 3:42, closely followed by Jake Whiteman and James McMurray. Sean Wiley's ran 3:44, but by the looks of it, it seems as though it's going to be a tactical race as the athletes pass through 200 metres in around about 33 seconds. So it's certainly not going to be fast today, and I can see on the very outside Matthew Sherlin in that yellow Liverpool vest. He's almost in lane 4, so it's certainly slow early on. No one willing to take the pace, but it's Jocelyn Allen of Tonbridge who leads. He's got Liam D on his shoulder and Michael Ward, the Welsh athlete. Good Welsh representatives here in this weekend. But it looks as though James McMurray, he's wants to take a bit closer order. He's moving onto the shoulder of the leader, Jocelyn Allen, as they pass through the first 400 metres in roughly around about 68 seconds, and all the field still in contention. Jake Whiteman, the Scottish athlete at the very back, he's making a move now up on the outside, but you could throw a blanket over all of the field now. But it's still Jocelyn Allen from McMurray at the very front, but all the athletes, it's all going to be now about thinking about timing your finishing efforts, getting yourself a good position to strike. In terms of good closing speed, Jake Whiteman would have been enthused by his personal best at Sport City of 1:49. So on paper, he looks to maybe be the quickest over the 800 metres. Sean Wiley warmed up for this event on Wednesday evening by clocking a personal best of 1:50 at Watford. So he's certainly not going to be any slouch. But as we come round to the start-finish area, 2 laps to go. The lead 3 are Jocelyn Allen, who's led from the very beginning, James McMurray and Jake Whiteman. Matthew Shearling still on the very outside running around in lane 3, but he's looking to pay closer attention to the front now. We're getting to 800 metres, begins to be shortening now. Some athletes are potentially going to make a move. So we've got just over 700 metres to remain, and we slowed slightly over that lap, so around about 2:17. But all athletes now looking to get that position now. James McMurray says, who looks to be now moving into the lead, but he's got Matthew McLaughlin and Jake Whiteman on his shoulder. We can see that tall figure of Sean Wiley, who looks so impressive in his heats. He's currently quite boxed, so he's going to have to look to get out as they enter into almost the last 500 metres. We can see they're all looking around at each other. Who's going to be the first to go? But it's James McMurray who's currently leading. James McMurray leads from Jake Whiteman. A few bit of chops. Shearling almost went down there with Liam D. But the lead 2 is James McMurray and Jake Whiteman. They both have the standard. Matt McLaughlin's tucked in 3rd, Will Poulsen in 4th, Sean Wiley in 5th, Lewis Lloyd in 6th. So the 5 athletes within the standard are all in the top 6 at the moment. But it's Jake Whiteman, the Scottish athlete, who's beginning to stretch them out. He's got James McMurray on his shoulder, and those 2 slightly are pulling away from Will Poulsen in 3rd. But Sean Wiley's moving up, the Bracknell athlete. He's bringing himself into contention, so 250 metres to go. The first 3 all have the European Junior qualifying standard, so whoever comes across the line first guarantees their selection. It's Jake Whiteman, but James McMurray's on his shoulder, and Sean Wiley's moved up very quickly. Matt McLaughlin in 4th, Lewis Lloyd in 5th. They both have the standard as well. Wiley's moving out to maybe attack on the outside. He's going to challenge Whiteman as they head into the home straight. But Whiteman still leads, but Sean Wiley, but Matthew McLaughlin's making a run on the outside. Sean Wiley's going to come through to take the spot. Sean Wiley's going to guarantee his selection. Jake Whiteman in 2nd, McMurray and McLaughlin. McLaughlin gets 3rd. Sean Wiley takes the victory there, so he guarantees selection for the European Junior Championships. Jake Whiteman in 2nd, and I think it was Matt McLaughlin who just picked James McMurray for 3rd on the line. And we pointed out 5 of these athletes can have the qualifying time. British Athletics, UK Athletics can only select 3 of those, and at the moment, based upon the form of today, Sean Wiley's are guaranteed, and the next contenders are Jake Whiteman and Matt McLaughlin as they place 2nd and 3rd. Okay, so after all the drama and excitement of that men's 1500 metres, we now move to the women's 110 metre hurdles. The lineup for heat 1, 2 heats, and it's the first 3 and 2 fastest losers. In lane 2 we have Natalie Allen of Hearts Phoenix, lane 3 Holly Thomas of Newham and Essex Beagles, lane 4 Danielle McGiffin of Woodford District Harriers, lane 5 the defending champion Yasmin Miller of Derby, lane 6 Heather Patton of Worcester AC, lane 7 Stephanie Clitheroe of Winterslow Eton and Hounslow, and lane 8 Megan Dixon of Wolverhampton and Bilston. So the defending champion Miller is in possession of the European Junior qualifying standard at 13.80. She set a new personal best of 13.44 this season. So Allen, Thomas, McGifford, Miller, Patton, Clitheroe and Dixon. They're away cleanly. First to rise, as expected, is Yasmin Miller in lane 4. She's going to come away and take a comfortable victory here. She's looking very good over the hurdles. The battle is on for the remaining spots, and it looks like McGiffin and Thomas. Miller takes it unconfirmed, 13.83. McGiffin came through for 2nd, and it was Thomas who took that 3rd automatic qualifying spot. and the rest of those athletes will have to wait and see if they're one of the 2 fastest losers. Okay, so we move to the second under-20 women's 100-metre hurdles heat. The line-up in lane 2, we have Bethany Close of Brighton Hove City AC. Lane 3, Lucy Hatton of Corby AC. Lane 4, Olivia Walker of Cannock and Stafford AC. Lane 5, Gisha Thomas of Blackheath and Bromley. Lane 6, Kelly Clark of City of Sheffield. And lane 7, Emily Northall of Newham and Essex Beagles AC. So it's the first 3 who will join Miller, McGiffin and Thomas in the final, and 2 fastest losers split between these 2 heats. Close, Hatton, Walker, Thomas, Clark and Northall. Expect Lucy Hatton to figure here. She also has the European Junior qualifying standard. And as they go over the first 5 hurdles, it's Hatton who's got the lead. Slightly, if anything, from Clark in lane 6. So Hatton's going to come through for it. But making a late run is Walker. Walker maybe gets second. And Clark, I think it was, who takes that 3rd automatic qualifying spot. So unconfirmed time there of 13.82. So the 2 girls with the European Junior qualifying time will make it through to the final. Lucy Hatton it was. And I'm pretty sure it was Clark and Thomas who will be joining her as the automatic qualifiers. 3 women's 100-metre hurdles, 2 heats, the first 3 in each heat, and the 2 fastest losers will progress through to the final. The line-up for heat 1, in lane 2 we have Rosie Kingston of Radley AC. Lane 3, Lauren O'Reilly of Newport Harriers. Lane 4, Rebecca Liddell of Gateshead Harriers. Lane 5, Amy Barkley of Crawley AC. Lane 6, Nicola Hill of Enfield and Harrogate. And Hannah Jackson of Yate AC in lane 7. Clear full start there, potentially coming from the very outside of the lane. It looked to me maybe Hannah Jackson in the Yate colours in the green looked to go early, but we'll have to wait for the officials' decision on that one. Unfortunately, we had a couple of disqualifications yesterday in the men's 100 metres. No one wants to see it, but it is part of the rules. We're all aware. 1 full start, and unfortunately, you are disqualified. The officials just coming out. And unfortunately he disqualifies Amy Barkley from Crawley, so unfortunately her 2013 100-metre hurdles campaign is over. Amy Barkley and Crawley AC, she's unfortunately now been disqualified. So the lineup now is Kingston, O'Reilly, Liddell, Hill and Jackson. So they're away for the second time of asking. Immediately Liddell seems to be making good progress. The Gateshead Harrier, so Liddell's currently leading. Hill on the outer of her side is coming through for second, but potentially she's going to be challenged by O'Reilly, but Liddell takes victory. Hill in second and O'Reilly in third. Unconfirmed time of 13.65, which would be a fantastic time there for Liddell if that's confirmed. We'll wait on the wind, but those are your 3 confirmed qualifiers. So now we move on to the second of these under-23 women 100-metre hurdles heats. The line-up in lane 2 we have Catherine Stone of Swansea Harriers. Lane 3 Hazel Ross of Victoria Park Glasgow. Lane 4 Lauren Thompson of Hearts Phoenix AC. Lane 5 Gabriella Ajobi of Cambridge Harriers. And then lane 6 Katrina Johnson Thompson from Liverpool Harriers AC. In a very distinctive fluorescent yellow vest it seems. Not sure if Liverpool have changed the colours for this year, but it's obviously great to see Katrina in action. There was injury fears following the high jump at the Loughborough International, but she's here in Bedford, so she must be, hopefully, fingers crossed, fit and healthy to contest, or she surely wouldn't be towing the start line. They're away cleanly in this second heat too. And on her inside, Adiana Joby got a great start, but it's now Katrina Thompson who's potentially leading, but also Thompson and Ross are closely, but also Stone as well. So Thompson's going to take it, potentially Ross for second, and Thompson takes a 3rd automatic qualifying spot. Unconfirmed winning time of 13.95 there for the London 2012 Olympian Katrina Johnson-Thompson. She lets out a huge gasp. She doesn't look too happy with it, but she safely booked a passage through to the final later on at 4:15, and so did, I think it was Ross and Thompson as well. So the adjustments have been made by the Bedford staff here, so we're taking it now to 110 metres for the hurdle, so they've all been raised for the men now. It's the under-20s who will go first, and the line-up in Heat 1, there's 7 athletes contesting it. In Lane 2 we have Luke Townsend of Rugby and Northampton AC. Lane 3 is Joe Yard of Windsor Slough and Hounslow. Lane 4, Nick Wilson of Birchfield Harriers. Lane 5, UK number 1 and possession of the European Junior qualifying standard, David King of the City of Plymouth AC. Lane 6, Rushane Thomas of Herne Hill Harriers. Lane 7, Curtis Beswick of Blackheath and Bromley AC. And in Lane 8, Robbie Claricots of Havering Maysbrook AC. In terms of progression through to the final, which is scheduled for 4:10, it's the first 3 in each heat and the 2 fastest losers. So the athletes being called to the starters' marks now. David King, who was second here last year, looking no doubt, as many athletes coming into this championship in possession of the European qualifying standard, to finish first and guarantee their selection, but he's got to negotiate this heat first. It's always very unpredictable in hurdles. Ooh, and unfortunately they've been called back, so there's risk of a potential full start here. We'll have to wait and see. So the staff are readjusting all the hurdles, and we'll have to wait to see what colour the card is as regards to if any athletes are unfortunately suffering the ill fate of being disqualified. But the lineup is Townsend, Yard, Wilson, King, Thomas, Beswick and Claricots. Let's hope all these do get to contest this first heat. The official is coming out now, and I see he's got a red card. And unfortunately, Curtis Beswick, his competition is over. He's been found full foul of the full start rule, and he will take no further part. He was currently ranked number 6 on the UK rankings coming into this event, so would have definitely considered himself more than capable of making the final. But he is no longer participating, so it's Townsend, Yard, Wilson, King, Thomas and Claricots. And they're away cleanly for the second time of asking. Yard certainly in lane 2 got a very good start, but as expected, King in those central lanes, he's beginning to dominate as we pass through halfway. King is beginning to move through, battles on for the 2nd and 3rd place, and it looks on the very outside like Claricots got the 2nd spot, and I think it was Thomas who potentially got that 3rd automatic qualifying spot. Wind unconfirmed unconfirmed qualifying time of 13.73, which is inside the European Junior qualifying standard, if that is to be confirmed, which David King does also possess already, but he's now safely through to the final, along with what we figure was Claricots and Thomas. Okay, so the second heat in the under-20 men's 110 metre hurdles. In lane 2 we have Matthew Scott of Baddlesden AC. Lane 3 is George Hadler of Havering Maysbrook AC. Lane 4, James Wright of Rugby and Northampton AC. Lane 5, David Omarigi of Cardiff AC, who, like David King in that first heat, does have the European Junior qualifying standard, having run 13.68 this season. In lane 6 we have Kai Riley Laybourne. of Enfield and Haringey. Lane 7, George Huxley of Ashford AC. And out in lane 8, we have Johnny O'Josephs of Shaftesbury Barnet Harriers. The first 3 and then two fastest loser spots up for grabs. Scott, Hadler, Wright, Omarigi, Riley Laybourne, Huxley and Josephs. And they're away clearly in this second heat. Certainly Riley Laybourne got a very good start at Enfield and Haringey, but it's Omarigi who's coming through now. But those two currently lead, Omarigi, Riley Laybourne. Riley Laybourne looks like he's going to come through. Omarigi in second, and it was Huxley who takes the third automatic qualifying time. And potentially they're unconfirmed, but for Kai Riley Laybourne, the clock has stopped at an unconfirmed 13.85. So if that is legal, that also takes him inside the European Junior qualifying standard. So potentially, and going into that final, we have 3 junior athletes in possession of the standard. It was Omarigi who was in second, and it was Huxley who came through for that third automatic qualifying spot. It's going to be a straight final for the under-23 men's 110-metre hurdles. In lane 2, we have Jake Porter of Birchfield Harriers. Lane 3, Honor JT Okoro of Birchfield Harriers. Lane 4, the reigning European Junior Champion, now an under-23, Jack Meredith of Liverpool Harriers. Lane 5 is the defending champion, Ben Kelk of Cambridge and Coleridge. Lane 6, James Gladman of Warrington AC, who took the under-20 title last year and was 4th at the World Junior Championships. Lane 7, Blade Ashby of Herne Hill Harriers. And in lane 8, Jack Andrew of Sale Harriers Manchester. In terms of European under-23 qualification, James Gladman is the closest. He currently has a personal best of 13.85 and will need to look to go under 13.80 in order to stand a chance for being selection, and that obviously would be also a target for Jack Meredith of Liverpool Harriers. Certainly a twitch there at the start, but all athletes get away cleanly. Jack Meredith certainly got a very good start, but James Gladman's hit the first few hurdles. James Gladman's race is over. Jack Meredith is now in the lead. Jack Meredith, but he's got Ashby on his outside. But on the very inside, Jake Porter comes through to snatch it. Jake Porter of Birchfield from Jack Meredith, and I think it was Ashby there in the A outside who's going to take the bronze. And Jake Porter continues on maybe a small mini lap of honour. He's going to come back to us, but clearly very happy. Executed a very fine race there, Jake Porter from lane 2 to take the under-23 men's title, and I think it was Jack Meredith of Liverpool Harriers AC who was in second, and I think Blade Ashby it was, the Herne Hill Harrier, who took the bronze. And unfortunately, fastest on paper, James Gladman had an awful first couple of flights of hurdles, and his race ended just before halfway. So the next track race we have is the under-23 women's 5,000 metres, which is being run as a straight final. There's 7 competitors, and I'll wait until we get underway before I read out the lineup. So the 7 girls who are toeing the start line in this under-23 women's 5,000 metres final is Beth Potter from Shaftesbury Barnet Harriers, Lily Partridge of Aldershot Farming and District, Katie Good of Stockport Harriers, Laura Day of Notts AC, Georgina Ball of Lincoln Wellington, Kate Avery of Shildon, and Rona Auckland of Bannockney and Stonehaven. In terms of European Under-23 Championship selection, Kate Avery is the only athlete in the field who has obtained that mark, and she's currently tucked in nicely in second place behind Beth Potter, who's taken up the early running. But it doesn't appear to be a fastish pace, and immediately Potter's moving to the outside. She's clearly not interested in taking up the early initiative. So similar to the under-20 men's 5,000 metres yesterday, which was running appalling condition, torrential rain, the girls at least have got a bit better weather today, but the tactics are going to be very similar. It's going to be a bit of cat and mouse, especially during these early stages, as they're feeling each other out and guiding themselves into the race. Beth Potter takes them through 400 metres roughly in around about 83 seconds, which is a leisurely jog for a lot of these girls. So that all the field still in contention, and I imagine all feeling very comfortable. Both Potter, Partridge and Auckland were part of the British European Cross Country Championship team that was very successful back in December. Moving on to the track now, certainly Potter and Partridge would have had hopes for the European Under-23 Championships, especially Potter, who's gone under 16 minutes before, but she's not quite been able to manage that this season. But she leads as we go through, and again, I think Potter's more than happy now to lead, maybe not have any big increases in pace, but she's happy now at least to have a clear run. And it's Kate Avery in second, Lily Partridge in third, and it seems to be Rona Auckland. There's another fellow Scottish athlete alongside Potter, who's got a t-shirt on underneath the vest. She's currently occupying the fourth place. Stockport's Katie Good is in fifth. Sixth place is is Laura Day of Notts, and in seventh place is Georgia Ball of Lincoln and Wellington. So not much change in the pace up front as Potter clips around at around about roughly 83 second lap. So as pointed out, all the athletes in this field should be feeling relatively comfortable at this stage. Still an awfully long way to go and a lot can happen. But we look to approach the first kilometre split. So Potter from Avery, from Partridge, they're occupying the medal positions at the moment, and Potter takes them through the first kilometre in a pedestrian 3:24. It's good to see Kate Avery back in the UK and competing well. The Shildon-based athlete has been a numerous international as an under-20, but unfortunately had a few injuries. But she's currently been based out at Iona College out in America, and she had a fantastic return to form at the Penn Relays, winning the 10,000 metres there. Anyone who's aware of that event, it's a very prestigious, held in thousands of people in the Penn Relays, and she took a debut performance on the track and took victory in the 10,000 metres. And at the Sports City BMC, whilst she's been back in the UK, she went under 16 minutes, which is inside the European Under-23 qualifying standard. And at the moment, she's closely following Potter. Potter's moved to the outside, so potentially looking for maybe to Avery to help out in terms of sharing the pace. But at the moment, it's still Potter, the Scottish athlete, who continues to lead. So, as we talked about now, Avery is taking her turn at the front. I don't think there's ever been any increase in pace, so it's merely a changing of positions there. So it's now Avery who leads with Potter on her shoulder. Lily Partridge, one of many Aldershot Farming and District athletes competing this weekend. As we're fully aware, AFD have a fantastic history and good pedigree when it comes to producing endurance athletes, both male and female. And Partridge is another one of those who've achieved honours both internationally on the track and the cross country. It's the northeast athlete Kate Avery from Shildon AC. She's leading them out in the multicoloured spikes, yellow and pink, from Beth Potter, Shasu Garnet, Lily Partridge, Aldershot Farming and District, Rona Auckland, another fellow Scottish athlete, and it appears to be Katie Good, that's the Stockport Harrier, and that makes up our lead group as 2 athletes have now been detached. So maybe just slightly, Kate Avery said, we've had a kilometre, I've eased myself into that race so far, so now I'll start to make it a bit more of an honest affair, and gradually, no sudden surge, just steadily winding up the pace. Come through the first mile, so the first mile is reached in just over 6 minutes, so again all the girls should be feeling relatively comfortable after those initial few laps, but certainly there's been a notable increase from Kate Avery in the pace. No doubt she will have great confidence from its performances over the 10,000 metres and that fantastic race in Sports City, which was won by Amelia Greca, but it was a good performances by Amelia Greca, Laura Whittle and Kate Avery. Those were the British athletes that went inside 16 minutes. And maybe just slightly, Good on the back of that group is looking a little bit detached. Rona Auckland, the Bannockbury and Stonehaven Island athlete, she's trying to pay close attention. Even having a look at the splits, Rona Auckland there, she just had a quick glance at her watch. She certainly should be aware that there has been an increase in pace. There's definitely the 2 athletes who've detached now off the back. And potentially it says Katie Good may be the next athlete to crack under Avery's pressure of just gradually and steadily increasing this pace. But as we come round through the start-finish area again with 7 laps to go, it's the black, red and yellow vest of Kate Avery, Northeast athlete, that continues to lead. Beth Potter's tucked in nicely in second, Lily Partridge in third. Rona Auckland's working hard to stay in touch with that group, and it is now that Katie Good of Stockport Harriers is finding that pace at the front just a little too much for her, and daylight's beginning to open now as the first 4 are all beginning to get away. So as they head down that back straight, that's where you can see from the flags that the visible wind is evident. So they'll be working into the wind, and if anything, Kate Avery's making even more of an effort, and she's opening up just a small initiative, but that'll hopefully give her some confidence. So she's beginning to break those behind her. It's Beth Potter who's in second, and there's roughly just a 5-metre gap, but it says notable. And maybe even behind Potter, it looks as though Partridge and Auckland might be drifting a little bit back. So Kate Avery, not quite aware of the splits, but she's certainly beginning to pile it on here. A very well gauged and very well paced effort. It's not been a sudden surge from Avery. She's just been very consistent, determined to clip along and run these laps. And if we give you an idea that the last 800 metres have been run in around about 2:32, so Kate Avery currently operating around about 75, 76 seconds per lap, and that is the reason which explains why she's opening up now a gap over Beth Potter, and it's Lily Partridge in bronze, and she's opening up a gap over Rona Auckland. So the medal positions look to be between Avery, Potter and Partridge, but still, awful long way to go. The next time they come around to the start-finish section of the track, it will be 5 laps to go, so just under 2 kilometres remain. And if what we see is anything to go by, it looks like nothing is going to stop Kate Avery over this last 2 kilometres or so from taking the National Under-23 title and securing selection for the European Under-23 Championships. It seems now that Partridge is the one who's moved past Potter. Both of these 2 athletes coached by Mick Woods, the Aldershot Farming and District coach. So I'm not sure if they'll potentially look together to maybe look to bridge the gap to Avery. But with 5 laps to go, so inside 2 kilometres of running now for Kate Avery. The clock is at 9:45 for 3,000 metres, which Avery would be feeling very comfortable at. And this is shown by the way she's able to increase the pace slowly but surely each lap. But Lily Partridge is making a good concerted effort to might try and track her down and hone her in. She can't quite shake off Beth Potter, but she's opened up a little bit of daylight between her and the bronze medalist at the moment. As they head down again into that back straight where the wind is most prominent. But Kate Avery is looking in superb form here, full of running. charge on this. So Kate Avery of Shildon AC, coached by Tony Simmons, she has just over a mile left, so roughly around about a mile of running left. 4 laps it is, spot on now between her and the National U23 title, and that elusive guaranteed satisfaction of knowing that in a few weeks' time she'll be part of that UK athletics squad that will head out to the European U23 Championships. Lily Partridge is definitely opening up more and more of a gap in second place as she looks to pull away from Beth Potter, who's currently in bronze. But if anything, Kate Avery putting on a bit of a masterclass here in terms of race execution, just gradually winding it up. Very mature performance from Avery. And she's roughly got around about a 30 to 40 metre lead, and that continues to grow over Lily Partridge of Aldershot Farm and District, and Beth Potter not giving up on the pursuit of silver, but currently in line in bronze medal position, the Shaftesbury Barnet Harrier AC athlete. And as Avery enters the home straight, she'll definitely have the satisfaction and maybe confidence to try and continue to push on. The fact that she's targeting maybe lapped runners in front of her, I'm pretty sure in the 3 remaining laps, the speed that Avery's moving at, she will definitely look to lap those runners, which will help her with the form and focus and concentration to keep working hard. And certainly Potter's not giving up on second. She's beginning to close ever so slightly on Lily Partridge. So as we say, 5,000 metres, it's a very long race, 12.5 laps, so these athletes will go through very good and maybe bad patches, but if they can work through them, which potentially Potter had a slight bad patch there, but she's beginning to close in on Lily Partridge, who's currently in silver medal position, and there's around about a 40 metre gap back now to Rona Auckland, who's currently in 4th place. Kate Avery is inside the last kilometre now, and it was around about 12:52 there that she hit the 4 kilometres. So a sub 3 minute kilometre there from Kate Avery. That's quite evident how the damage has been done and how she's been able to operate build up such a lead. She's just getting faster and faster and maybe operating close to 72, 73 second lapping now. But we're just over half a mile to go now. It's Kate Avery, Shildon AC. Looks to be working, but there's no danger of her losing this title here. But the battle is certainly going to be over this remaining half a mile between Beth Potter and Lily Partridge. They're going to duke it out with just over 800 metres. Who's going to take the silver medal? And it's Rona Auckland continuing to work hard, continuing to chase. Certainly not giving up on it, but I don't think she's got any medal hopes today. But she's working very hard there in 4th. But out in front, Kate Avery, as we pointed out, she's beginning to lap runners now, and she's going past them at a tremendous speed. She's really operating, she's really shivering, Kate Avery. Fantastic performance for her. No doubt it'll be a huge confidence booster for her. As she comes round, heading into the home straight, so just over 500 metres now for Kate Avery. And it's actually the battle for silver. It looks as though Beth Potter's taken the initiative. 600, just under 600 metres for her to run, and she's beginning to pull away from Lily Partridge. But it's going to be Avery who's going to take the bell. She hears the sound of the bell, and it's 14:46 for Avery at the bell. So this is fantastic. If she can get under 16 minutes, which his currently form suggests at the speed she's been operating, this would be a fantastic performance from Avery. She's gradually, slowly but surely been winding it up. And the battle for silver, Beth Potter currently leading that battle. Lily Partridge in the bronze medal position. So it's going to be interesting to see over the remaining 400 metres if that position changes. But out in front, Kate Avery is going to hit that win for the final time. And it'd be fantastic for her. She can go under 15 minutes. The championship best performance by Stevie Stockton set in 2011 is 16 minutes and 10. And that is certainly going to be under threat from Kate Avery here. Phenomenal display from Kate Avery. As we talked about, those early laps were run outside 80 seconds, and she's beginning to operate slowly but surely, bringing it down close to 75. It was a sub 3 minute kilometre, which broke the fight of Potter and Partridge. And now, as she comes down the home straight, the championship record will go. Kate Avery will secure herself a seat on the plane for the European U23 Championships. Shildon AC athlete. She takes the title just outside 16 minutes, but over 10 seconds, just under 10 seconds off the championship best performance, stopping the clock unofficially at 16:01.89. And it's Beth Potter of Shaftesbury Barnet who's going to come through for the silver medal, and it's Lily Partridge of Aldershot and Farmington District who takes the bronze. Fantastic race there. 3 high-quality athletes out in the front, and it was Kate Avery, master performance, championship best, inside the European Under-23 qualifying standard, and she is guaranteed to contest those championships in a few weeks' time out in Finland. Okay, so after the endurance 5,000 metres there, we're going to revert back to the sprint events now, which is the Under-20 women's 200-metre heats. It's the first 3 in each heat and the 2 fastest losers that will progress through to the final. In Heat 1, in Lane 2, we have Alex Galloway of Cambridge and Coleridge AC. Lane 3, Catherine Christie of Edinburgh AC. Lane 4, Amarchi Pippi of Enfield and Haringey. Lane 5, Dina Asher-Smith, who won the 100-metre title yesterday in an emphatic 11.55, which was wind assisted, in the colours of Blackheath and Bromley AC. Lane 6, Melissa Hanson of Birchfield. Lane 7, Rachel Highfield of Gateshead. And Lane 8, Olivia Caesar of Windsor, Slough, Eton and Hounslow. It's the first 3 and the 2 fastest losers who will progress through to the final, scheduled at 4:40. So Dina Asher-Smith, who's been in fantastic form already this season, setting a UK age group best following that emphatic 23.1 clock in Loughborough. She'll undoubtedly be the favourite for this title after the 100-metre impressive show that she put on yesterday. So just to remind you, it's Galloway, Christie, Pippi, Asher-Smith, Hanson, Highfield and Caesar. They're away cleanly, and it's no surprise to see Dina Asher-Smith immediately up on them. Hanson on her outside and Highfield, and she's going to pass all 3 athletes on her outside as she comes into the home straight. She's going to have a big lead as she comes in. So the battle's going to be on for the remaining 2 spots. Pippi looks to be coming through maybe into second, but it's all about Dina Asher-Smith up in front. Pippi's going to come through for the 2nd automatic spot. The 3rd automatic place is going to go to Christie. Stops the clock unofficially at 23.89 for Dean Asher-Smith, which is inside the European Junior standard, and we're all only in the heats. So she's going to be through quite comfortably through to the final. And joining her is Amarcha Pippi of Enfield and Haringey and Catherine Christie of Edinburgh AC. The other girls will have to wait to see for the 2 fastest loser spots. So Heat 2 now of the women under-20 women's 200 metre heat. It's quite notable that the defending champion Sophie Papps, she's not entered, so she won't contest the 200 metres. So the lineup, in lane 3 we have the 2011 World Youth Champion Desiree Henry of Enfield and Haringey. Lane 4 is Steffi Wilson of Poole AC, who placed 4th last year. Lane 5, Chloe Lambert of City of Glasgow. Lane 6, Beth Dobbin of Doncaster AC. Lane 7, Charlotte Wingfield of Enfield and Haringey. And then lane 8, Megan Taylor of Kingston upon Hull. The first 3 will progress automatically through to the final. is just 1/100th outside of the European Junior qualifying mark of 23.90, having set a season's best of 23.91. She has ran quicker than that before, so no doubt will be using this championship to help bring along a form. And they're away cleanly, and as we pointed out, Henry, that tall athlete in the Enfield and Haringey colours, red and orange vest, she's got building up a very impressive bend there, so she's going to come off the top bend into the lead, and she's got a huge lead. She's putting on a show here, Desiree Henry. She's comfortably going to qualify, so the battle's on for the next two automatic spots. Desiree Henry is going to take it. Come through for second is going to be Wilson, and third is potentially Wingfield, and stops the clock. I said she didn't have the European Junior Championship time coming into this. At the moment, unofficially, she's just ran 23.68, which is well inside the European Junior qualifying time. So she'll head into that final with the security of having that standard, and it looks to be a battle between her and Asher Smith for the title. So in the high jump, Chris Candu at 2:18. Oh, first attempt. Chris has already won the competition, having cleared, the only athlete to clear 2:14, and he has guaranteed himself a place on the European Junior team, but he's currently attempting 2:18, and that was his first attempt, so he'll have two further more goes at that height. So Chris Candu asking for a bit of crowd support now as he goes for a second attempt at 2:18. It's good to see even some of the discus competitors behind him are giving him a clap. Candu, Enfield and Haringey, second attempt. Ooh! Not to be, so he's going to have one more attempt at that height. So now it's going to be a series of two straight finals. First up, the under-23 women 200-metre final, and they're going to be followed by the under-20 men. The lineup for the under-23 women's 200-metre final: in lane 1 is Kadina Cox of Sale Harriers Manchester. Lane 2, Nahid Kidwalker of Birchfield Harriers. Lane 3, Katrina Johnson-Thompson of Liverpool Harriers. Lane 4, Rachel Jancott, the silver medalist in the 100 metres yesterday for Swansea Harriers. Lane 5, the gold medalist from the 100 metres yesterday, Jodie Williams of Hearts Phoenix AC. Lane 6, the bronze medalist from the 100 metres yesterday, Bianca Williams of Enfield and Haringey. Lane 7, Shanice Harrison of South London Harriers. And in lane 8, Hannah Thomas of Wrexham AC. So certainly it was great to see Jodie Williams after an injury-blighted 2012 where she no doubt had Olympic ambitions. She's back in 2013 and was in sublime form yesterday in the 100 metres. Let's look to see what she can do in this straight final for the 200. In terms of European under-23 qualification, if Williams does take victory, she'll guarantee her selection for that event at the European under-23 Championships. She tops the rankings with a season's best of 23.32, which is just outside a World Championship, Senior World Championship B standard for the event. Also interesting to see how Johnson-Thompson gets on, again sporting that distinctive yellow vest, and Rachel Jancock, who had a superb race to place second in the 100 metres yesterday. They're away cleanly, and if anything it looked like Bianca Williams got the better start, and maybe she's leading Jodie Williams on her inside as they come into the bend. Certainly Bianca Williams ran a fantastic bend, but Jodie Williams is up on her shoulder, but Bianca Williams at the moment has a lead, but Jodie Williams is coming back at it. But it's going to be all the way. Jodie Williams is going to come through, maybe just. Bianca Williams is going to be in second, and Jancock through for third. Williams gets it. Unconfirmed, 23.21. A fantastic run there from Bianca Williams, Enfield and Haringey, and Rachel Jancock came through for third. I'm just double checking on Bianca Williams. She'd ran prior to this event 23.72 as a season's best, so she may get awfully close to the European under-23 standard there. But Jodie Williams returns. She's done the sprint double, the 1 and the 2, and confirms if she wants to, she will be guaranteed selection for both those events at the European Under-23 Championships. So attention now turns to the second 200-metre final of the day, which is the under-20 men. The lineup reads: in lane 1 we have Christopher Stone of Bristol and West AC. Lane 2, Tom Houlihan of Edinburgh AC, the Scottish athlete who was a 100-metre finalist yesterday. Lane 3, the 100-metre champion from yesterday, so he's booked his place on the European Junior team. That's Josh Cox of Bedford and County. Lane 4, Matthew Hudson-Smith of Birchfield and Harriers. Lane 5, Rhys Prescode of Enfield and Haringey. He has the European Junior qualifying time. Lane 6, Leon Reid, Bristol and West. He also has the European Junior qualifying time. Lane 7, Roy Ejijaku, who was second behind Cox in the 100 metres yesterday. And in lane 8 is defending champion Josh Street of South London Harriers. So as we pointed out, if Prescode or Reid were to take victory, they would confirm their selection for the European Junior Championships. But certainly Cox got to be full of confidence after his 100-metre victory yesterday. Defending champion Street and also Ejijaku from Sale Harriers. Based upon Jody Williams' time prior to that, that was a legal win, so hopefully the conditions will favour the lads, particularly any of those who are chasing qualifying times. As we pointed out, it's just Prescode and Reid who have that elusive 21.25. So the athletes settling down into the blocks now. The men under 20 men's 100 metres yesterday was certainly a cracker. Let's see what the 200 metres has to offer today. Unfortunately, athlete in lane 1, Chris Stone, has pulled up, so he won't contest the final. But the remaining 7 are all the way. Leon Reid's gone out very hard. He's chasing down Josh Street. And it's also Prescode's going with him. But Reid currently leads. Leon Reid's coming up. Prescode's coming back at him. Hudson-Smith's coming into it. Reid and Prescode. Prescode's going to take on the line from Reid. Prescode confirmed selection for the European Junior Championships. Unconfirmed, but he set a new lifetime best potentially of 21.21. It was Leon Reid second who came through for second, and I think it was potentially Matt Hudson-Smith of Birchfield who took the bronze medal there. So now we turn to the under 23 men's semi-finals. There's going to be 2 races, and it's an often heavily used word in athletics, but these 2 semi-finals are stacked with talent. In semi-final 1, we have a Malonlu Abidun of Woodford Green and Essex Ladies. Lane 2 is Lamar Freckleton of Cardiff. Lane 3 is Jordan Kirby-Polidor, who has the standard of Woodford Green and Essex and Ladies. Lane 4, Samuel Essewer of Croydon Harriers. Lane 5, Adam Gamili, the 100-metre champion from Blackheath and Bromley. Lane 6, Sam Watts of Woodford Green, Essex and Ladies. Lane 7, Lamar Sylvester of Thames Valley. And Lane 8, Andre Wright of Medway and Maidstone AC. So it will be the first 3 in each semi-final and the 2 fastest losers that will progress through to the final, which is scheduled for 4:35. So it's Abidun, Freckleton, Kirby-Polidor, Ossawa, Gamili, Watts, Sylvester and Wright. Oh, certainly Andre Wright in lane 8 was asleep in his blocks, and Sylvester's got a great start, but Adam Gamili's chasing him down. He's opening up a bit of daylight on Ossawa, and I think it's Gamili, the London 2012 Olympians, coming into the home straight, looking full of running. Adam Gamili's going to run away and take semi-final 1. Andre Wright's coming back into it. Samuel Ossawa, but also Kirby-Polidor. And it's Gamili who takes it, unconfirmed, 21.19. It was Jordan Kirby-Polidor who came through for second, and I think Samuel Ossawa took the 3rd final automatic qualifying spot. Winning time unconfirmed as 21.19. Ossawa. So now we'll move on to semi-final number 2, and I did point out that both these semi-finals really good strength and depth in terms of numbers that we have in this sprint discipline in the under 23 men's 200 metres. In lane 1 we have Richard Taylor of Great Yarmouth and District. Lane 2 was James Williams of Liverpool Harriers. Lane 3 is Antonio Infantano of Shaftesbury Barnes Harriers. Lane 4 is Danish Walker Khan of Birchfield Harriers. Lane 5 is David Bollerinwa of Newham and Essex Beagles. Lane 6 is Deji Tobias of Windsor Slough and Hounslow. Lane 7 is Kyle Ennis of Banbury Harriers. And in lane 8 is Jake James of Derby AC. Bolarinwe and Tobias both have the European under-23 standard. Qualifying time, sorry. Of course, Bolarinwe and Tobias, training partners, both coached by Jonas Tawaya Dodu. Athletes are under starters orders now, so just to remind you, it's Taylor, Williams, Infantano, Walker Khan, Bolarinwe, Tobias, Ennis and James. The first three athletes will automatically join Gamili, Osawa and Kirby Polidor, who were the guaranteed qualifiers from semi-final one. They're away cleanly, and Deji Tobias has had a fantastic start. He's already up on Ennis and James on the outside of him, but Bolarinwe will be chasing hard, but it's the sky blue of Windsor, Slough and Hounslow. Deji Tobias setting the pace in this second semi-final. Bolarinwe was beginning to close slightly. Tobias from Bolarinwe, but both of them are going to come through. Maybe Bolarinwe is going to take it on the line from Tobias, and I think Infantano comes through for the third automatic qualifying slot. Unconfirmed winning time, slightly quicker than Heat 1, so semi-final 1 of 21.02, but your confirmed qualifiers are David Bolarinwe, who took the victory. It was Deji Tobias in second place, and Anthony Infantano of Shaftesbury Barnet, who came third for the third and final automatic qualifying spot. The rest will have to wait for fastest losers. Okay, so we walked perfectly there into the under 20 women's 3,000 metres final, which has just got underway on the back straight. 7.5 laps of the track. I'll take you through the lineup. It's Katie Wood of City of York AC, Rebecca Weston of Invicta East Kent AC, Stacey Taylor of Glasgow School of Sport, Alice Perkins of Basildon AC, Amy Mellor of Stoke AC, Georgia Millar of Ilkley Harriers, Amy Griffiths of Leicester Corritanians, Sophie Foreman of Tonbridge AC, Alice Bergen of Bedford and County, and Grace Baker of Aldershot, Farman and District. And it's Amy Mellor, in the colours of City of Stoke, who set off in determined fashion. She's opening up a very quick first 300 metres at least, and strung the field out immediately into single file, trying to pick out the remaining athletes in contention. Certainly Amy Griffiths, I can tell the long socks and the blue colours of Leicester Corritanian. She's currently occupying in third, and I think it's Rebecca Weston of the Invicta East Kent AC club who's in second place. But it's Mellor who takes them through 400 metres in 72 seconds, so that's around about 9 minutes pace, so that's well in advance of Amy Mellor's personal best and most of these athletes in the field. So it's going to be an interesting next couple of minutes to see how long this pace can be sustained and see how the race develops. In actual fact, yeah, it is Rebecca Weston who's in second place as Amy Mellor continues to lead. Rebecca Weston from the Invicta East Kent AC. She's seen teammate Bobby Clay take the 1500 metre title earlier, and Rebecca herself has possession of the European under 20 5,000 metre qualifying time, so she's potentially here in Bedford to prove her form and fitness and look to be selected for the 5,000 metres. It's important to point out the absence of Amelia Goreca, who also has the European Junior 3,000 metre and 5,000 metre qualifying standard. Of course, she's been selected to compete for Great Britain at the European Cup next week in Gateshead, so Wisely's probably giving Bedford a miss this weekend. But back to the action, it's still Amy Mellor who continues to lead. She didn't slow very much over that second 400 metres, so she's still got around about a good 10 to 15 metre lead off the chasing Rebecca Weston. And it is Amy Griffiths who's detached there in third place. And the remainder of the field is completely strung out. So We haven't seen this before yet this weekend. There's not been an athlete in the distance events who's taken it from the gun and tried to run the finish off all the athletes. So fair play to Amy Mellor as she approaches the first kilometre, which she will pass in 3:04. So around about 3:04. So we're currently operating around about 9:15 pace for Amy Mellor. The European under-20 standard is 9:35, so I'm not sure if that's one of Amy Mellor's conjectures, but she's certainly set out in an extremely positive fashion. But Rebecca Weston now, coached by Peter Mullery at the Invicta East Kent, she's closed in now and is almost right on the shoulder of Amy Mellor. And as we pointed out, Amy Griffiths, long-striding, tall, blonde athlete who's in third place, and behind her it's almost single file. Look to identify those athletes who are currently 4th, 5th and 6th. It's Katie Wood who is in 4th. I can definitely make out potentially Alice Bergin there in the Bedford and County colours. And I think Grace Baker of Aldershot, Farman and District, she's currently in the top 6 or 7 athletes as well. But we come down on the home straight and almost Mellor and Weston are running shoulder to shoulder. Certainly it is clear that Mellor has slowed off that early sub-9 minute pace, but Rebecca Weston is content to sit on the shoulder and help share the work. But they come through with 4 laps to go, so we'll get an idea at roughly around about 1,500 metres, if Amy Mellor is potentially in contention for this European Junior qualifying time of 9:35, as they look to pass the 1,500 metre mark on the back, which they go through roughly in around about 4:39 through 1,500 metres. So a very fast opening half to this race. And as they pass through 1,500 metres and enter into the second half, it is Rebecca Weston now who begins to take the lead. She's opening up a slight gap on Amy Mellor, so we'll see how that develops over the next few stages. But Weston, who was part of the medal-winning Great Britain team at the World Cross Country Championships in Bydgoszcz in Poland. Fantastic achievement by the under-20 girls there. And as we pointed out, she'll be hoping for selection over the 5,000 metres, but off the back of today, she could well and truly secure the European Junior 3,000 metre qualifying time, thanks to the early pace that Amy Mellor has set this race up as. So Weston it is, who appears to be running away with it now. The challenge of Mellor for the title seems to have gone. So with 3 laps to go, it's Amy Mellor who leads. Sorry, it's Rebecca Weston, who leads. Amy Mellor in second, and it's Amy Griffiths in third. And Katie Wood of City of York is in fourth. 251 is Georgia Millar, she's in fifth. And in sixth place is 296, which is Alice Perkins of Basildon AC. So that's the top 6. So Weston, as we pointed out, the wind is on the back straight, so she's hitting the back straight, and she's going to approach the 2 kilometre point, which she now passes 2 kilometres in 6:17 roughly. So this is fantastic running. We have slowed quite a bit since that fast opening kilometre, but certainly it's going to be a very close to this European Junior qualifying time for Rebecca Weston. Amy Mellor appears to be consolidating in second, and so does Amy Griffiths in third place. But Rebecca Weston's going to come round to the start and finish area, and she's going to have just over half a mile to go. So 800 metres, 2 laps of the track between her and the National Under-20 3,000 metre title. She's certainly well inside this 9:35. And Amy Griffiths, it is, who's beginning to close slightly on Amy Mellor in second place. So the battle on for silver and bronze is still going. And it's Katie Wood, Alice Perkins and Georgia Millar, the current 4th, 5th and 6th athletes. And they potentially are still in with a shout for a medal. If they begin to rally, it's certainly Katie Wood, the City of York, who's at the front of that chasing pack, who's looking after Amy Griffiths, who looks set to go past Amy Mellor as they hit the back straight. But out in front, Rebecca Weston has 600 metres left of running. And this is a very impressive performance from Weston. As we've seen, Mellor seems to be suffering from that early pace, but Weston was able to measure her effort a little bit more conservatively and is able to pace the 7.5 lap race a lot more effectively. And as she now into the home straight, she's just got under 500 metres to go. And Amy Griffiths now has moved past Amy Mellor into silver medal. But out in front, it's all about Rebecca Weston, and she's going to hit the bell. It's going to be interesting. She's hopefully going to go inside this European Junior qualifying time, 8:10 at the bell. So she is well in grasp with this 9:35. And the battle is on for silver. Amy Griffiths, who seems to be winning the silver, on for a silver medal at the moment. Amy Mellor is currently occupying the bronze medal, the long-time leader early on, but she looks to be in danger of being swallowed up by Katie Wood, Georgia Millar, and sorry, just the other athlete is Stacey Taylor. Sorry about that. But out in front for the last time, Rebecca Weston goes down the back straight. She's got 200 metres remain. She's roughly on around about 8:47 with 200 metres to go. So I'm pretty sure, providing the wheels don't come off, she's going to confirm the European. So she's going to add the European Junior 3,000 metre qualifying time to a 5,000 metre time that she's also achieved. So like Goreka, she'll hope the selectors will look favourably on her, potentially to double at those championships. But we'll look to see. Amy Griffiths is in second, and it's Katie Woods who's moved past Amy Mellor, and she's now into third, but she's being chased by Georgia Millar. And great win here for Rebecca Weston, stops the clock at 9:23, a new personal best, and almost 12 seconds inside the European Junior qualifying standard. Amy Griffiths of Leicester Corritalian, she's going to come through to claim a well-earned silver medal. Ran most of the race on her own, so that's a fantastic performance from her. And it's Katie Wood from the City of York who's going to come through and take the bronze medal. Okay, so we return to the action back on the track. Obviously, you can continue to watch the pole vault on one of the camera angles as well, but the next action on the track is the under-23 men's 1500 metre final. The lineup is as follows. We have Rhys Glastonbury of Windsor Slough and Hounslow, Ben Caldray of Stroud AC, Johnny Hay of Aldershot Farming and Districts, Chad Lambert of Milton Marshall Keynes, Alex Cornwall of Woodford Green and Essex Ladies, Toby Loveridge of Liverpool, Pembroke and Sefton, Daniel Studley of Bristol and West, Zachary Randall of Shaftesbury Barnet, Adam Cotton of Birchfield, Andrew Butchart of Central AC, Kieran Riley of Tonbridge, and Luca Russo also of Tonbridge. So immediately, it seems to be quite a swift opening over this first 200 metres. I can certainly see defending champion Johnny Hay. He's tucked in second place. I'll look to identify the leader, Ben Caldray, he's in third. But we go through in the first 200 metres inside 30 seconds. I think it's actually Luca Russo, the Tonbridge AC athlete. He's beginning to stretch out the field. So it's Russo who's got a small gap as he goes through 300 metres. Johnny Hay in second, Ben Caldray in third, Alex Cornwall in fourth. That's the current first few positions, but certainly a very positive opening from Luca Russo, the Tonbridge AC athlete. He's got his training partner and teammate Kieran Riley inside there, and they go through the first 400 metres in 58 seconds, so this is lightningly fast. I'm not sure, as we pointed out, no one in this field does have the qualifying standard for the European Under-23 Championships, so I'm not sure if these guys are just going for it. It's great to see if they are. Certainly a very positive approach from Luca Russo. He's got around about 10 metres on Johnny Hay. Ben Caldray still in there. Andrew Butchart. Alex Cornwall, who is the fastest in the field on paper. He's ran 3:43 this year. Johnny Hay ran 3:42 last year. And as we pointed out, is defending champion. But as we come round to just over 2 laps to go, it's still Luca Russo, the Tonbridge AC athlete. Andrew Butchart is now in the lead. It has slowed slightly, and they are beginning to bulk a little bit at the front now. So clearly, Luca Russo is slightly slowing at the front, and the whole field is sort of being pulled back into contention as they're going to look to pass through 800 metres in around about 2:01. So a slightly, definitely drop in pace over the second 400 metres. I can see the tall figure of Rhys Glastonbury in the Welsh vest. He's beginning to make a move up on the inside, and he's currently now in third position, if not in second. So he's currently on the shoulder of the leader, and he's actually going all the way through to the lead. So Rhys Glastonbury is going to take the lead as we approach roughly around about 1,000 metres Ben Caldry has never been outside the top 3, and he's currently now in 2nd. And reigning European Junior Champion Adam Cotton, he's in 3rd place in the Birchfield Harriers black vest. He's showing for the first time at the front. And Alex Cornwell, Woodford Green, Essex and Ladies, he's now in 3rd. And we're going to come to the bell. There's certainly 4 athletes in medal contention here. And Alex Cornwell hits the bell in lead, 2:48 at the bell. Cornwell it is that leads from Rhys Glastonbury, from Adam Cotton, from Ben Caldry, from Kieran Riley, from Andrew Buckhart, Luca Russell, Toby Loveridge, Daniel Studley, Zachary Randall. And Alex Cornwell certainly going for it down the back straight. He's really going for it. He's got around about 20 metres now on Glastonbury. Adam Cotton in 3rd. He's going to have to fight off the challenge of Andrew Butchart, the Scottish athlete who's in 4th. Inside the final 200 metres. Still, no one appears to be making any inroads on Alex Cornwell out in front, but Adam Cotton's making a late run for it. The Birchfield Harrier, reigning European Junior Champion in 2011, he's going to be the one to attack Cornwell down the home straight. Cornwell is going to come under pressure from Cotton. Cotton's going to go past. Cotton, he says, the Birchfield Harrier, pumping all the way through to the line. Looking over his shoulder, Ben Caldry's going to make a really late run through. Cotton takes the title from Cornwell, from Caldry. And Glastonbury it is who just misses out. Winning time an unconfirmed 3:58.80 for Adam Cotton of Birchfield Harriers. So we return now with a series of 400 metre finals. First up is going to be the under 20 women's. The lineup is as follows. In lane 1 we have McKechnie, in lane 2 we have First, lane 3 Clark, lane 4 Aitchison, lane 5 Bakari, lane 6 Knight, lane 7 Hilliard, and in lane 8 Hilton. Clark and Bakari are the 2 athletes in possession of the European Junior qualifying standard, so if either of those to take victory they would guarantee selection for the European Junior Championships. So they're away first time. Bakari's got a lot of strapping on her left hamstring, that green sticky tape. Hopefully it's not going to be too much of an impact on her performance, and immediately I can tell it's not, because she's making up the stagger on Knight on her outside and also Hilliard, and it's Bakari now who's beginning to make real inroads down the home straight, down the back straight, sorry. She's clearly got a lead, but it's difficult to pick out who's in 2nd position at the moment. But as they come inside, it's definitely Bakari who's passed everyone on her outside other than Hilton, who's out in lane 8. The Shaftesbury Barney Tower athlete, who's the UK #1 at the moment, she's going to lead as we head into the home straight, but she is being chased hard by Clark. But at the moment, Bakari has a huge lead. The battle is on for silver. Certainly Knight, Clark are in contention for the minor medals. But at the moment, it's all about Bakari. But Clark's coming back at her. But Bakari's going to hold on and take the under 20 women's title. She stops the clock unofficially under 54 seconds. Clark it is in 2nd place. And it was Knight of Hernhill Harriers who takes the bronze. If confirmed, that'll be a new lifetime best for Bakari and well inside the European Junior standard with 53.97 unofficially on the clock. Following off the very impressive win there for Sabrina Bakari in the under 20 women's 400 metres, it's now the turn of the under 23 women's. The lineup from the very inside. In lane 1 we have Equa Aqua, lane 2 we have Ivans, lane 3 is Wake, lane 4 is Alcock, lane 5 Ahorigu, the current UK #1 for the under 23s and in possession of that European under 23 qualifying standard. 6 is McCaslin, 7 Ramsey, and in lane 8 Lucy James of Bedford and County. So they're away quite clearly. So as we pointed out, it is Victoria Horigu on paper is the fastest in this field, but immediately Alcock on her very inside has made a good inroads on that initial stagger, but only 100 metres have passed. But certainly Laura Wake, the Loughborough University student, you can see her, she's making a good impression down the back straight, certainly over the first half of the race, and I'd potentially say that it's between Wake and McCaslin out in lane 6 for the potential lead. Kirsty McCaslin, who's just 0.02 outside the European under-23 qualifying standard. The Sale Harrier, who took the junior title last year, is going to enter the home straight in the lead. She's going to be chased, though, by Ahorigu and Wake. But at the moment, it's all about Kirsty McCaslin, but she's going to come under pressure from Ahorigu. McCaslin's going to hang on, though, the junior champion last year. Is she going to have the under-23 title? Ahorigu's leaving it late, but McCaslin is going to take the title from Ahorigu, from Wake. 53.31 from McCaslin as she takes the title ahead of Ahorigu and ahead of Laura Wake. So it's 2 golds in 2 successive years for Kirsty McCaslin of Sale Harriers. So we now turn our attention to the first 800 metre final of this afternoon, and it's the under 20 men. I'll give you the lineup once we get underway. But the field of 8 athletes contesting this final is Jordan Bansberg of Skyrack, Dudley Mason of Southampton AC, Richard Charles of Shaftesbury Barnet, Johnny Monk of Gloucester Coritanians, Sean Malloy, defending champion from Tonbridge, Elliot Slade from Cardiff, Andrew Warden from Cornwall, and Lewis Rawlins of Cambridge and Coleridge. We had 3 athletes in the form of Slade, Charles and Brandsberg who have the qualifying time for the European Juniors. So for either one of those 3 to come across the line first, they would secure selection, and it's Elliot Slade, the Welsh athlete, who's setting a ferocious early pace, and immediately he's been tracked by Richard Charles, defending champion Sean Malloy, and Jordan Brandsberg, who also has that European Junior qualifying time. So as we saw in the under-23 men's 1500 metre final, a very honest and fast pace being set here by Elliot Slade, and they go through the bell in 53.52. Potential sense in it. Elliot Slade didn't look that happy with his heat performance yesterday, which was tactical, so he's making sure this one is purely run on guts and determination. He's stringing the field out, and he's beginning to pull 5 athletes away. So down the back straight though, and it's defending champion Malloy, who finds a gap on the inside to go past Slade, but he's being closely followed by Richard Charles of Shaftesbury Barnet and Jordan Brandsberg, who's moving into 3rd place. So we're into the last quarter of the race, so it's defending champion Sean Malloy from Richard Charles, but Jordan Brandsberg from Skyrack in the yellow vest, he's looking menacing. He's going to look for room on the outside. Charles comes up on Malloy's shoulder, but Malloy is holding off so far. Malloy, the first year under 20 defending champion, won the title as an under 17. Can he make it 2 in a row? He's coming under pressure from Jordan Brandsberg in the closing stages. It's Jordan Brandsberg who's going to take the victory and secure selection for the European Juniors. Sean Malloy in 2nd, Richard Charles in 3rd. 1:49.08. Jordan Brandsberg rips off his shirt. He's delighted. He's going to gain selection for the European Junior Championships. Sean Malloy still just outside that European Junior qualifying time. He's 2nd, and Richard Charles who takes the bronze medal. So next up is the under-23 men's 800 metre final. So the junior men there set a great precedent with Elliot Slade, ensuring it was a fast, very fast and competitive race. I'll run you through the lineup once the athletes get underway. So from the inside, it's Dykes. In lane 2, we have Petty. Lane 3, Horniman. Lane 4, Waterman. Lane 5, Learmonth, the only athlete to have the European under-23 qualifying standard. Lane 6, Aitchison of Aldershot Farming and District. Lane 7, Betts of Sale. And in lane 8, Tom Watson of Central AC. So it's going to be very interesting. As we saw in the junior men's race, it was Elliot Slade who took the athletes through halfway, 400 metres in a very fast 53 seconds, and the under-23 men don't seem to be hanging around much either. And that seems to be Sam Dykes in the Loughborough colours. He's competitive for Warrington AC, but he's got his Loughborough Athletics Club vest on today, and he's towing the field through the first 400 metres. And he's certainly beginning to string them out. It's Scottish athlete Tom Watson who's in 2nd, and it's Petty in 3rd, Horniman in 4th, Betts in 5th, and the more fancied Aitchison and Learmonth, they're towards the back of the field in 5th, 6th and 7th, and they go through halfway. It's just inside 55 seconds, so 54.97, so not as fast as the junior men, but it certainly looks to be quickening up now. So Tom Watson and the Scottish athlete, he's poised on Dyke's shoulders. They head into the back straight now, so this is where the athletes will come under pressure, under the wind, and it's the Scottish athlete now, Watson, who's moving through. He's going to be followed by the tall figure of David Horniman from Trafford, and Guy Learmonth, the Scottish athlete who has the European under-23 standard. He's now into 3rd place, but moving into 2nd as they enter into the final 200 metres. Ben Waterman now, he's coming into contention. He's in 4th. Oliver Aitchison, one of the heat winners yesterday, he seems to be falling off the medal charge at the moment, but expect him to finish well. But as we enter into the final 100 metres, it's a Scottish 1-2 of Learmonth and Watson, and it's Learmonth now who's kicking for home. Learmonth's going to strike for the title. He's potentially coming under pressure from Waterman, but also Oliver Aitchison finishing very fast. Oliver Aitchison finished awfully fast. Is he going to go on the line? Learmonth, oh! I'm not sure. Maybe Aitchison on the lean from Learmonth, and then potentially Horniman it was who came through for the bronze. Winning time unconfirmed around about 150.40, but that's going to go down to the photo finish. Number 1, 2 on paper, Learmonth and Aitchison, those were the two, but in what order? And we're pretty sure maybe David Horniman came through for the bronze medal. So the last 800 metres race before we revert back to the 400 metres is going to be the under 20 women's 800 metres. Qualifiers for this final, the field includes Butner of Ireland, Jenkinson of Southampton AC, Long from Bristol and West, Snowden of Herne Hill Harriers, Jarvis of Stockport Harriers, Bleaken of Team Bath, Crosley, who's not listed as having a registered team, and Hendry for the Victoria Park Glasgow. The athletes being recalled, but a green flag raised, so no one in fear of disqualification, and we'll look to get underway in the second time of asking. A whole mixture in terms of selection decisions here. Lauren Bleaken is the British athlete who has the European under 20 standard. Butner from Ireland has also ran 2:03 this year, so she's also got an Irish European Junior qualifying standard. But Molly Long and Chelsea Jarvis are looking for potential World Youth selection, having achieved the qualifying standard for that as well. So it's going to be very interesting. And like all the 800 metres, there's been a very keen early leader, and this time it's Lauren Bleaken, who was second last year, from Team Bath, who's taking up the early running, and she currently leads. And it seems to be Butner from Ireland, who's tucked in second place. I'd look to identify the third placed athlete when they come round. But it's certainly Lauren Bleaken, under 17 national champion last year, under 20 silver medalist last year, who's looking to come here and seal her selection for the European Junior Championship. And she's certainly going to lead as they go through halfway. 400 metres, it's under 60 seconds, so Bleaken's looking to run the legs off them, but it's Butner who's in second place, and 1:44 he says who's in the third place, which is Crossley. She's having a fantastic run at the moment, and the three medalists potentially look to be between those as they head past 500 metres now. And it's Molly Long who's in fourth place, Chelsea Jarvis in fifth, and Jenkinson in sixth place. But Lauren Bleaken is putting on a fantastic performance here. She's building up quite a lead, but she's still got just over 200 metres to go. As she passes through 600 metres, the clock just ticks over 90 seconds, so around about 91. So this is really good running from Lauren Bleaken. She's really taken it to the athletes, determined to lead from the front, the Team Bath athlete, but Evan Butner may be closing slightly. Actually, Butner's closing with every step, and Jenkinson, the Southampton AC athlete's in bronze. She's being followed by Chelsea Jarvis of Stockport. So Lauren Bleaken, she's looking, but looks as though Lauren Bleaken's crumbling under the pressure from Butner, and Jenkinson's coming through as well. Butner from Ireland, and Jarvis moves into bronze. Butner from Ireland's going to take the gold. It looks as though Butner's going to take the victory. Jenkinson's going to take second, Jarvis third, and Bleaken unfortunately misses out with fourth. The winning time there for Butner, 2:05.29, unconfirmed. Jenkinson had the run of her life there to take the silver, and Chelsea Jarvis it was who came through for the bronze. Okay, so we now revert back to the 400 metres, and I'll take you through for the junior men. The lineup is as follows. In lane 1, it's Christopher Stone of the Bristol and West Athletics Club. In lane 2, it's Scott Atkinson of Wakefield and District. In lane 3, it's Jack Crosby of Middlesbrough AC. In lane 4, it's Callum Ruffneen of Sale Harriers Manchester. Lane 5 is Ben Snaith, who set that European Junior qualifying standard in the heats of 47.46. In lane 6 is a non-start for DeSancho Santos Sore of Thames Valley. Lane 7 is Ryan Lee from Cardiff. And in lane 8 is Alex Boyce of Liverpool Harriers. So Santos, as we pointed out, Portuguese athlete, coached by Linford Christie, runs for the Thames Valley Harriers club. Unfortunately, he doesn't start, so it looked to be a potential showdown between him and Snaith for the title. So Snaith will definitely be many's favourite, but certainly look out for Roheen, who ran in very close in that first in the heat, and also Jack Crosby, who took the heat 3 yesterday. So just to confirm, Stone, Atkinson, Crosby, Ruffneen, Snaith, non-start in lane 6, Lee in 7, and Boyce in lane 8. Oh, you can see the gasps, including, and immediately Callum Roheen puts his head in his hands and rocks back on the track because he knew that was a clear full start. And unfortunately, no, he's given a green. Nope, apologies. We did hear a click of the gun, so potentially the gun was responsible for that full start. So Callum Roheen, whose heart was surely in his mouth there, thought his dreams were over. He does look at the crowd, touching his chest there. But he's got to regain his composure now. He thought he was all over then. But he is going to contest the final, providing it's all a safe and secure start now. So the athletes go back to the start position again. So no one's disqualified. The field is as confirmed previously, which is Stone, Atkinson, Crosby, Ruffneen, Snaith, Lee and Boyce. So they're away cleanly, so all athletes will contest this final. So as we pointed out, it was Ben Snaith who went inside that European Junior standard in the heats yesterday, and considering there's no athlete in lane 6, he's immediately made up on the stagger on 6 and 7, which is Ryan Lee of Cardiff. He's gone past him, so he's really attacking this race. Callum Ruffneen, who we thought was potentially going to be disqualified there, he seems to be running well at the moment. One athlete pulls up, that's Stone on the very inside. Unfortunately, his race ends at 200 metres, but with inside 150 metres to go, it's all about Ben Snaith out in front now. And the battle will be on for silver and bronze, but at the moment it's Ben Snaith who's ran a fantastic 320 metres. Can he finish off the job? Oliver Scott Atkinson in lane 2, he's having a fantastic run. He's potentially coming through for silver. On Alex Boyce on the outside. It's going to be Snaith who takes it. Atkinson the silver and Boyce the bronze. And a new huge improvement on his previous lifetime best, 47.15, which confirms his selection for the European Junior Championships. And that was a great run for Scott Atkinson in lane 2 to come through for the silver. And it was Liverpool Harriers, Alex Boyce on the very outside, lane 8, who came through for the bronze. So it's now the under-23 men's 400 metre final, which will conclude, is the last 400 metre final that we have. The lineup in lane 1, we have Abdullah of Newham and Essex Beagles. We've got Loudon of Lastwade, Akaru of Birchfield, Plenderleith of Falkirk, Putman of Blackheath and Bromley. On his outside, it's Putman is in lane 5, Jack Green of Kent AC in lane 6. It's Young in 7 from Petreve, and Christian Byron of Birchfield Harriers out in lane 8. So they're away, no shakes here. And Christian Byron, as we pointed out yesterday, he really attacked his heat and unfortunately was quite fortunate to come through as the fastest loser in the final, but maybe he's a little bit more reserved at the moment. But certainly on his inside, Young also seems to be going well. But Dan Putman, the Blackheath and Bromley, he's already up on Jack Green, who was contested the 400 metre hurdles final earlier, where he placed 3rd. And at the moment, it's the Blackheath and Bromley athlete Putman who currently has the lead as they're coming into off the top bend and they'll enter the home straight with just over 100 metres to go. But also Plenderleith's in contention, but at the moment it's all about Putman. But Jack Green's very strong. Jack Green's coming back at him. Putman's hanging on though, but who's he going to be? They're going to certainly battle it all the way to the line. Putman looks as though he's going to hang on. Maybe it's going to be on the dip. Putman gets it from Green, from Plenderleith. 47.16, unconfirmed. Dan Putman raises his arms in the air, lets out a huge yelp. He was clearly delighted to take that title ahead of Jack Green, and I think it was Plenderleith who came through for that bronze medal. So now it's the turn of the under-23 800 metre women to conclude this 800 metres series of races. So the 4th and final 800 metre final of today. In lane 1, it's Rebecca Linney of Liverpool Harriers. In lane 2, it's Hannah Tarver of the Wirral AC. In lane 3 is last year's silver medalist Callie Reid from Birchfield Harriers. Lane 4, it's Laura Muir of Dundee Hawkhill Harriers, who has the European under-23 time for the 1500 metres, so stepping down to the 800 metres here in Bedford. In lane 5 is Emily Dudgeon, last year's junior champion, who went to the World Junior Championships and placed in it, as long as Jessica Judd qualified for the final where she placed 6th. In lane 6, it's Sarah McDonald of Jarrow and Hebburn. In lane 7 is Jenny Tan, former European Junior representative for Great Britain. And in lane 8 is Alex Bell, last year's bronze medalist representing Pudsley and Bramley AC. And so it looks as though in lane 1, Rebecca Linney of Liverpool does not start this final. Just a slight delay as Sarah McDonald is having a number adjusted on the back by one of the officials. But that seems to be achieved now, so we look all set to get underway with this under-23 women's final. So the under-starters orders, so just to repeat that again, Linney does not start, so in lane 2 it's Tarver, 3 is Reed, 4 Muir, 5 Dudgeon, 6 McDonald, 7 Tan, and in lane 8 Bell. 2 laps of the track, first 100 metres run in lanes before they break. And they're off. Emily Dudgeon, particularly last year, was a renowned front runner, always keen to take the pace and run the finish or make it a test of fitness and strength, and she's certainly to the fore. Alex Ball on the outside, she's made a good early start, whereas the athletes break, we'll start to see if anyone does look to take the initiative and take out this early running. And it is the Scottish athlete Dudgeon who appears to take up in first place, as she's going to take them through the first 200 metres in just inside 30 seconds, so a nice swift pace, a bit shoving and bushing and barging there, but all athletes remain on the feet. And it's Alex Bell, who we talked about, who was third last year, she's in second, and Hannah Tarver tucked in third. And it is Dudgeon as they come into the home straight now who's leading. But most of the field are all pretty much in contention. Laura Muir from Dundee, she's making a big move round the outside to bring herself into medal contention. And Dudgeon, if anything, has a slight lead, but Muir reacts quickly to close that gap. And they're at 60.68 at 400 metres. And unfortunately, Sarah McDonald seems to have calf cramps, so her race is over just at the halfway point. But back out with the action, it's Emily Dudgeon now. The 2 Scottish athletes, 1-2, as Dudgeon leads from Muir, and they appear to be pulling away from the rest. It's Tarver in bronze medal at the moment. So Dudgeon has led the whole way, but she's being tracked very closely by Laura Muir, as we talked about. She's been in great form over 1,500 metres, Laura Muir, setting a PB of 4:10. She'll no doubt want to contest that event at the European Championships, so she's getting a good idea of her speed, but it seems Dudgeon is determined not to relinquish this lead. We're inside the last 150 metres. Tarver appears to be safe for the bronze at the moment, as she can keep things going, but the battle out in front is between the 2 Scottish athletes, and Muir takes the lead for the first time, and she begins to open up, and she's kicking away. She's going to take this title comfortably. A very impressive finishing closing speed from Laura Muir. She's going to stop the clock. Look at the time, 2:03.21, which I'm not sure potentially could be is just outside Tara Bird's championship record of 2:3.00, but a very impressive running from Laura Muir. Emily Dudgeon it was who took the silver medal, and Hannah Tarver of Wirral AC, who was a fastest losing qualifier, she secured the bronze medal. So the hurdles are back out, so it's going to be the first of 3 finals, which is the under-20 men's 110 metre final. The lineup is as follows. In lane 1, it's Nick Wilson of Birchfield Harriers. Lane 2, Joe Yard of Windsor Slough Eaton and Hounslow. Lane 3 is Robbie Claricoats of Havering Maesbrook AC. Lane 4 is the first of 3 athletes who are in possession of the European qualifying standard, and that's David Omarigi of Cardiff AC. Lane 5 is Kai Riley Ladbourne of Enfield and Haringey. He ran 13.87 in the heats to go inside the qualifying time. Lane 6 is David King of the City of Plymouth. He tops the current UK rankings with 13.66. Lane 7 is George Huxley of Ashford AC. And Lane 8 is Rashane Thomas of Herne Hill Harriers. So if either lanes 4, 5 or 6 are to take victory, like we've seen in previous examples throughout this weekend, they will secure selection for the European Junior Championships. And they're away cleanly first time, and certainly King out in lane 6 had a fantastic start, and he's taking up the initiative. But Omarigi's going well, and also don't rule out Riley Laybourne. He's coming into contention. King's going to come maybe. King's going to take it on the line from Omarigi so as we predicted, it was the 3. It was King from Omarigi, from Kai Riley Laybourne, And the time, unconfirmed, will be a new lifetime best there for David King of 13.62, and he was run very closely there by David Omarigi of Cardiff AC and Kai Riley Ledbourne. And all three, I think, would have gone inside that European Junior qualifying standard. So it looks as though that'll be an event which Britain will be sending 3 athletes to those European Junior Championships. So next up on the track is going to be the final of the under-23 women's 100-metre hurdles. So we had the heats earlier on, and those who qualified the final are as follows. In lane 1, it's Hannah Jackson of Yates. Lane 2 is Catherine Stone of Swansea. Lane 3 is Nicola Hill, who's the fastest on paper from Enfield and Haringey. Lane 4, Hazel Ross of Victoria Park. Lane 5, Rebecca Liddell of Gateshead Harriers. Lane 6, Katrina Johnson-Thompson from Liverpool Harriers. Lane 7, Lauren O'Reilly of Newport Harriers. And in lane 8, Laura Thompson of Hart Phoenix. The athletes being called to the marks for the final of the under-23 women's 100-metre hurdle. So just to repeat, from lane 1 it's Jackson, Stone, Hill, Ross, Liddell, Johnson-Thompson, O'Reilly and Lauren Thompson in lane 8. Liddell it was who was the fastest in qualifying. She's in lane 5, so expect the Gateshead Harrier to get out to another equally impressive start, and she has. But Katrina Johnson-Thompson is matching her. It's Liddell, Johnson-Thompson, Liddell slightly. Katrina Johnson tips that hurdle, but Johnson's always stronger at the final battle. She's going to take it on the line from Liddell. And it looked to be 52 Nicola Hill of Enfield and Haringey who came through for the bronze medal. But very impressive there from Katrina Johnson-Thompson. She takes the title in an unconfirmed 13.66. Rebecca Liddell the silver medal for Gateshead Harriers, and Nicola Hill of Enfield and Haringey, she takes the bronze medal. Okay, so the final hurdles race of this European Trials National Championship weekend is going to be the under-20 women's. The lineup is as follows. In lane 1, we've got Josiah Thomas of Blackheath and Bromley AC. 2 is Bethany Close of Brighton and Hove City. 3 is the defending champion Yasmin Miller of Derby AC. 4, Danielle McGifford of Wigan and Districts. 5 is Lucy Hatton of Corby AC, who, like Miller, has the European Junior qualifying standard. 6 is Kelly Clark of Sheffield. 7 is Holly Thomas of New and Essex Beagles. And lane 8 is Olivia Walker of Cannock and Stafford. So the athletes into the marks position. So if Miller or Hatton to take the title, they'll secure selection for the European Junior Championships. Miller's certainly off to sensational start there, and it is here to chase, but Hatton's putting up a good challenge, but the Derby AC athlete Miller, Hatton clatters that hurdle. She's going to lose out on silver. Miller takes the gold, and it was a dip on the line between Hatton, Clark and Thomas, all in their contention for that silver medal after Hatton clattered the 7th hurdle. But no doubt about the winner, and the clock stops at 13.60, and Yasmin Miller confirms her selection for the European Junior Championships, and it's going to be a photo finish to decide the silver and bronze medal. Okay, so another eagerly anticipated final is the under-23 men's 200 metres. We've got a total of 3 athletes in current possession of the European under-23 standard for the distance, and that doesn't include World Junior 100-metre champion Adam Gamili. The lineup in full, we have James Williams of Liverpool Harriers in lane 1, who made the 100-metre final yesterday, so 2 finals for him this weekend. Lane 2 is Danish Walker Khan of Birchfield Harriers, also in the final for the 100 yesterday. 3 is Jordan Kirby Polydor of Woodford Green and Essex Ladies. He has the European under-23 standard. Outside of him in 4 is Deji Tobias of Windsor Slough and Hounslow. He has the European under-23 standard. Lane 5, yesterday's a 100-metre champion Adam Gamili of Blackheath and Harriers and Bromley. Lane 6, the third athlete to have the under-23 standard and the quickest on paper with a lifetime best of 20.60. That's David Bolowinner of Newham and Essex Beagles. Lane 7 is Samuel Ossower of Croydon, and in lane 8 is Anthony Infantino of Shaftesbury Barnet Harriers. Under starters orders, and the athletes walk to their marks. Williams, Walker Khan, Kirby Polidori, Tobias, Gamili, Bolowinner, Ossower and Infantino. Very high quality under 23 men's 200 metre final here. They're away cleanly, and certainly Tobias has had a fantastic start there, and he's chasing down Gamili, and Bolowinner is on there outside as well, but it looks as though it's Adam Gamili, the world junior champion over 100 metres. He's attacked down the home straight. Gamili's going to go away with this one. He's winning by a 10 metres. Bolowinner's going to come through second. Tobias third, and look at the time, potentially unconfirmed, but 20.30 for Adam Gamili. We'll have to wait for the win, but if confirmed, that smashes his lifetime best, smashes the European under-23 qualifying standard, and will be a World Championship Moscow A standard for the 200 metres. It was David Bolowinner, the Newham and Essex Beagle athlete, who came through for second, and it was Deji Tobias, the Windsor Slough and Hounslow athlete, who takes the bronze medal. What a race, what a weekend. And it's plus 0.8, so it is confirmed. It's a UK leading performance for Adam Gamili, a World Championship A qualifier, and he takes does the double, the 100 and 200 metres here at the European Under-23 Championships. So as we all catch a breath after that emphatic victory for Adam Gamili, setting the stadium alight with that World Championship A qualifying standard, it's now the turn of the under-20 women in the 200 metres, and this could equally be a cracker as well. The lineup, we have Catherine Christie of Edinburgh AC in lane 1. Lane 2 is Chloe Lambert of the City of Glasgow. Lane 3 is Amarchi Pippi of Enfield and Haringey, the 100 metre bronze medalist from yesterday. Lane 4 is Steffi Wilson of Poole AC. Lane 5 is Desiree Henry of Enfield and Haringey, and she was the fastest qualifier, running 23.69 in those heats. Lane 6 is Dina Asher-Smith of Blackheath and Bromley, yesterday's 100 metre champion, so looking to do the double. 7 is Rachel Highfield of Gateshead Harriers, and in lane 8 is Beth Dobbin of Doncaster AC. They're under starters orders. Glorious sprinting conditions we saw from Adam Gamili's there, a plus 0.8 win, so it's ideal for fast times, qualifying performances and confidence boosters ahead of these major international competitions that ally at least potentially Henry and Asher-Smith. Can any of these other athletes look to claim maybe a third slot on that team? We'll soon find out. Christie, Lambert, Pippi, Wilson, Henry, Asher-Smith, Highfield and Dobbin. They're away cleanly, and as expected, 100 metre champion Dina Asher-Smith is immediately after 50 metres, she's made up the stagger on Highfield and Dobbin are on outside, and it's the Blackheath, Harry and Bromley who's going to lead as we come into the home straight. But she's going to be chased hard by Desiree Henry-Smith, former world youth champion, and Henry's coming back at her, but Dina Asher-Smith's going to hold on. Dina Asher-Smith, watch the clock. Dina Asher-Smith, 23.20, unconfirmed. Henry it is who takes the silver medal, and I think it was Pippi, her Enfield and Haringey teammate, who came through for the bronze. So 2 bronzes for her this weekend. But Dina Asher-Smith does the sprint double, 20.20. If confirmed, that'll be the second fastest time of her career, completes a comprehensive 100 and 200 metre double, and is likely to contest both those events at the European Junior Championships. Desiree Henry of Enfield and Harringay, she was second, so she'll look to go to those championships. And Amarchi Pippi of Enfield and Harringay, she'll have to wait and see as regards to the time. Okay, so the javelin has now concluded. So the final event of these championships, the final track race, is the combined under 20 and under 23 women's 3,000 metre steeplechase. I'll run you through the lineup as follows. In terms of the under 23s, it's the defending champion Emily Stewart from Edinburgh AC, Ruth Haynes of Aldershot Farman and District, Nicole Roberts of Birchfield Harriers, and Laura Ritchies of Lee Harriers. They're the 4 under 23 athletes. And on the under 20 race, it's Amy Eloise Neal, she's unattached, Imani Diane Medal of Sale Harriers Manchester, and Katie Ingle of Royal Sutton Coldfield. They are the 3 under 20 athletes. So 2 races within 1 race, if that makes any sense at all, but it's exactly the same as the men carried out yesterday. And I can see at the moment it's Laura Ritchies of the Lee Harriers. She's taking up the early running just alongside defending champion Emily Stewart, and also it's defending under 20 champion Katie Ingle from the Royal Sutton Coldfield Club. She's also up there with that group of under 23 athletes. She already has the European Junior qualifying standard for the 3,000 metre steeplechase, so hopefully if she can successfully defend her title, she'll book a place in Rieti for those European Junior Championships. So the sun is coming out for this final track discipline of the day, so let's see what sort of show the girls can put on for us here at the moment. So certainly looks set to be a very competitive race. Emily Stewart seems to be a very natural steeplechaser. She's got good technique, but it's Laura Ritchies who's early on beginning to force the pace. As always, a good number of spectators are gathering around the water jump to help support the athletes as they encounter what can be a very treacherous sometimes hurdle for many of the athletes who've come a cropper, but so far so good for all the athletes in this field. And it's Laura Ritchies, Birmingham University student, Lee Harriers, she's beginning to stretch the field out, and it's Scottish athlete Emily Stewart who's currently on a shoulder. Nicole Roberts of Birchfield, she's currently occupies the bronze medal position in the under 23 race, and it's Katie Ingle who is well clear of her nearest rival in the under 23 in the under 20 women's race. So now it's Emily Stewart who takes her turn at the front. She's overtaken Ritchies and beginning to stretch out the pace, which is breaking up that what was a group of 5 is now all down to single file, and Stewart's beginning to open up a small lead over Ritchies in silver, and then there's a gap back from Ritchies to Roberts and Katie Ingle who leads the junior race. And it was Amy Eloise Neal who was closely tucked in behind Ingle, but now she's becoming detached in the silver medal in the junior race. So the athletes look to negotiate the water barrier. And to be fair, Laura Ritchies has a far more effective technique of clearing that water barrier than Emily Stewart, but Emily Stewart begins to pull away on the flat, so that's where she's beginning to make up the ground. And as we come into the home straight now, Emily Stewart will look to get the first kilometre split. So we look to go through the first 1,000 metres. Emily Stewart, it's going to be around about 3:24. Obviously, it's times are slightly out with it being the inside water jump. But it's Emily Stewart that leads from Laura Ritchies, from Nicole Roberts, from Katie Ingle, from Amy Eloise Neal. It's Ruth Haynes, the Aldershot athlete, who's currently outside of the under-23 medals, and it's Imani Modal, the Sale Harrier Manchester, who occupies the bronze medal position in the junior race. But as we look down the back straight, it's good to see the conditions have settled a lot more, as we saw with those earlier sprint races where the winds were 0.8 and so forth. It's good to see visibly on the flags that the wind doesn't seem to be as fierce down the back straight, so Stewart will appreciate that, and she's responding to the good conditions and beginning to forge quite a lead. She's going to enter the water barrier, and it's Nicole Roberts now who moves into second. So Stewart successfully over the water barrier. Ingle, Roberts and Ritchie, they're all together as they tackle that water barrier together. But Emily Stewart looks full of running now. She let Laura Ritchie's do a bit of the early running, but she's found a stride, settled into her rhythm, and she's beginning to run away with this event. As we did expect, she looks set to defend her national under-23 title. And as she comes through the start-finish area, she's just going to approach halfway. She does stutter quite a lot going into the barriers, so that gives opportunity for others to make inroads if they are a bit more of a natural hurdler, which Katie Ingle is, who's currently just on the shoulder of Nicole Roberts, the Birchfield Harrier. So Roberts it is in silver for the under-23 women's, and Ingle is in the gold medal position for the junior race. But I just had a slight glimpse of the clock there, so it was Emily Stewart. She does inside 5 minutes at halfway, so providing she can maintain this pace, she could look to potentially go under 10 minutes, which would be a new lifetime best for her. And it's Nicole Ritchie who is beginning to forge quite a way ahead of Laura Ritchie, so she's looking good for the silver medal. And it's Katie Ingle who's out in front for the gold medal. But Amy, as we talked about, Amy Eloise Neal, she's approaching Laura Ritchie, the under-23 bronze medalist, so they'll potentially look to work together and maybe close on the duo in front of them. But we revert back to the front. Edinburgh AC athlete Emily Stewart. She was initially down for the 5,000 metres, but obviously opted to contest and looks in successful pursuit of defending her under-23 to women's 3,000 metre steeplechase title, and just 3 laps remain for her. And as we look back through the field now, it's Nicole Roberts, and Katie Ingle running side by side. Roberts of Birchfield Harriers and Ingle of Royal Sutton Coldfield, so both Midland clubs well represented there. And it's Amy Eloise Neal who's passed Laura Ritchie's the early leader, and she's setting off in pursuit of Katie Ingle, the currently leading the under-20 race. But we're looking to approach around the 2 kilometre point as Stewart clears the barrier on the very back straight, looking around a 2 kilometre split of around about 6:45. Again, hard to tell with the water jump on the inside barrier, but that's a rough time, so sub 10 is certainly still on if Emily Stewart can keep to maintain this pace. But the race beginning to be very well strung out. Stewart is building up close to around about a 70-80 metre lead over Nicole Roberts, who's in silver. Katie Ingle still leads the junior race, but Amy Eloise Neal, the unattached athlete, is in second in the junior race, and 2-footed landing in the water jump, but she's running positively. She's looking at Katie Ingle out in front and continuing to chase that. But as we go back to the front, it's Emily Stewart with just 2 laps remaining. The clock is just inside 7:30. So she is going to have to really go some if she wants to set a new lifetime best. But as with most people, she'll take titles over times any day, and she looks as though it's going to be a successful defence of her under-23 title. And Katie Ingle's looking very good in her pursuit of defence of the under-20 women's gold medal. It's been a very successful performance for Amy Eloise Neal, certainly acquitting herself very well. And it's Laura Ritchie's who holds the bronze medal position in the under-23 women's race. So as I look out down on the back street, Emily Stewart's lead is building up to close around about 100 metres now. So the very last race of the day. It's good to see a good number of spectators have stayed behind to support these girls in the steeplechase race, which will be the final event of this 2013 National Under-20 and Under-23 Championships, which have incorporated the European trials. And just 500 metres remain now for Emily Stewart of Edinburgh AC. She's going to come round and potentially lap some of the athletes now, so that'll maybe potentially help to spur her on. And we talked about maybe looking to get under 10 minutes. I'm sure Emily Stewart looking ahead to next year for Glasgow for the Commonwealth Games, so she's looking to be in good shape to be contesting that event. Obviously Ailish McColgan, a fellow under-23 who's not here this weekend, and she's a fellow Scot, so it looks as though next year they could have 2 very good steeplechase runners contesting that Commonwealth Games. And it's Katie Ingle who's pulling away now from Nicole Ritchie. She hits the bell in 9:08, and if she can safely negotiate these final barriers over the 400 metres, the last lap, she'll confirm her selection for the European Junior Championships. Amy Eloise Neal goes through, and she looks set to take the silver medal. And the bronze medal position is currently by Laura Ritchies of Lee Harrier, who was our early leader early on, and she looks to continue this going. She's going to secure a national bronze medal. But as we look over towards the water jump, it's Emily Stewart full of running, and she negotiates that final water jump. She's coming in with just over 120 metres to go. She seems to be full of running. Very impressive performance for Emily Stewart. Utterly dominant. She's just one more barrier to go. She clears that well. She begins to sprint to the line. Arms are raised. She's pumping those legs. High knees. Great sprinting style. Such latter stages of the race. We're going to look at the clock. She's going to be just over 10 minutes, but 10:03.40. Unconfirmed winning time for Emily Stewart as she successfully defends the national under-23 women's title, and second in the race but first in the national junior race, and is going to defend her title and confirm selection for Rieti for the European juniors. That's Katie Ingle of Royal Sutton Coldfields. Nicole Roberts, she is going to go and snatch, she's going to win the silver medal in the under-23 women's race. Amy Eloise Neal takes a silver in the junior under-20 women's race. And as we look down now, Laura Ritchies, she's going to come through for the bronze medal in the under-23 women's race. So that draws to a conclusion that National Under-20 and Under-23 Championships, which have incorporated the European trials. I'd like to thank in great heartfulness the Athleticos live team that have been out in force providing you this live stream. You've got the pool trio of Adam, James and Matt. Steve Emery was helping us out yesterday. Of course, Hannah Bestwick, she's been doing her efforts on the Twitter. And Berin Cross has been down in the mix zone speaking to a huge number of athletes. Now the upload will begin. Obviously, a lot of day one footage is pretty much all online as we speak now. So anyone who is competing on day one, most of your footage will be online and available to access now. Day two footage will begin immediately. Once we get back to Loughborough this evening, we'll start to upload those videos. So you should expect a full roundup of all the coverage to be online tomorrow evening. You can purchase any of the videos for just the price of 99p. What a bargain that is. So if you're looking to save your memories from this weekend, please look to do so. Final big thank you for the sponsors of our live stream this weekend, which has been 5 or 6, the new sports marketing company. So thank you very much for those. Thanks for all those who've tuned in and listened, and thanks for all the support and positive comments. We'll look to see you again at an athletics event soon. Many thanks.